Yes.
You know. Spirit fingers. Welcome back, guys. It's time for another review. The finale of Lower Decks Season 4.
Oh my god. We did it. We made it. We're here. We reached it. Everything is good.
Yes.
So Season 5's next week, we hope, right?
Sadly, no.
But I want to see Season 5,
Yes.
though. How rude is that, not to have back-to-back seasons? Gosh, guys.
Right?
What are you playing at, Man and Team? Just make them all the time, non-stop. Don't sleep. Well, sleep, but, you know.
Yeah, come on. Let's get going on Season 5, guys. It's important.
We like Lower Decks, did you know, Stuart?
It's not like there's much of a cliffhanger, though. It's not like there's a post-credit scene or anything.
No. Yes, that's the thing. That's the thing. But there is lots of Trekyards content, so keep your eyes, ears, and YouTube players peeled for Trekyards in the coming over a week, because there is a plethora of things, and some things you either might not have realised because, you know, zoom in and enhance, oh my god, a thing! Or, that must be this thing. It's not a thing, it's a new thing. This is what we do. So tune in, a lot to do. Some episodes this season have been 0. This is not 0. So, yay.
Yeah.
And obviously, super chat your thoughts, comments, questions. Let's make this final episode of the season a big live. Start the month off really strongly. You know, put in $1, $2, $3, $4, $5. Put in your intro thoughts about this episode. Throw it in, guys. I really would like to know what you guys think. This is a community for you. You know, I'm gonna start a poll.
Speaking of, Ozzy's already thrown in a $5 one. Computer access Riker 1 joystick maneuver. Shields up. 16309. No override. Add seatbelts. That's a mouthful, Ozzy. Yeah. Do what he said. Do the things. Hit the like button too. We have 31 of you here and 17 likes. We can do better than that. Hit that like button. We will have a poll for you in a second. Zango 76. So we know Genesis works on nebulas, but never seen it work on an actual planet. Well, no, we know it works on nebulas and ion storms. This wasn't really a nebula. This was an ion storm. And yeah, we've never actually seen it hit a planet except for in a simulation. So it's a good point. It's a very good point. Sidewire says, I bet next season it will be revealed that Ceto lived and is stuck in the Cardassian prison all this time, since it was just a destroyed escape pod and no body or proof of her death. Yeah, we were saying that it would make an awesome storyline, actually. And considering that Thomas Riker was also last in a Cardassian prison last time we saw him, they could be together. That would be awesome. But I don't know if they'll do that. I don't think they will necessarily. So, yeah. Hit that like button, guys. We're almost at 30. We need another 8 and 37 people here. I mean, that's not hard.
Hey, Matthew. All right, read the poll strips.
We do have a poll up. Which was the best season of Lower Decks? Season 1, Getting to Know Ya. Season 2, Packlets. Season 3, the one with DS9. Or Season 4, Mariner, New Wesley? Interesting.
You know.
I gotta go back and rewatch all the Lower Decks to make that judgment call.
Yes. So put in your thoughts, reaction, comments, questions about that. And like I said, do let us know what you think about this episode specifically. But because remember, we did the first poll I did this year was, will this be the best season? And almost everyone said this year will be the best season. So now I want to know, having seen the season, how do you all feel? This is the question. I will start sharing and tell the audience your favourite of the sub episodes we've got coming out and why. Tease them, Stuart. Tease them. Tease factor 10.
New Cardassian ship, probably. Actually, maybe even the Saber Runner. Yes, Saber Runner, not Steam Runner. Yeah, we got some good stuff coming out for sure. We've probably done about 6 or 8 videos. So lots to look forward to for you guys. So make sure you're subscribed and do all the things. But I'm going to tell you now to hit that like button, guys. Super chat in with your comments, questions, concerns, anything you guys want to talk about. Let us know. We do read them all. So it's a good way to get your voice out there, be heard. And also don't forget to join the fleet. You can join button down there on YouTube. Check it out. Or if you want to go over to Patreon, you can go Patreon/Trekyards and join over there. That is another monthly way to support us, and it's all the same perks, privileges, and all that, ranks, everything apply over there as well. So please go do that. Also, don't forget to share the content with other like-minded Star Trek fans. And also, make sure you check the links down below. Links to the Teespring and the TeePublic store. We have some really cool Trekyards shirts and Trekyards merch that we would like you guys to take a look at and maybe pick up. That would be awesome. So click the links, do all the things, support us any way you can. We really appreciate it, as you guys know, and we're always here for you, like the best of friends. We keep coming back. Let's see. Ray Ricks throws in 10 pounds. Lower decks, lower decks, lower decks. Brilliant episode. Loved Captain Boimler. Acting Captain Boimler, I should correct him there. Mariner arc finally in a better place. I demand super chat by combat. Sure. Mark Lawrence, $5. Once again, Lower Decks shows the live action shows how to do a finale. Yeah, the finale was fantastic. It'll be interesting to see. We should rank it compared to the other finales for Lower Decks, but I don't remember them all necessarily. So, Ozzy, $2. Welcome to Nova Yards. Nova Yards. And Mark Lawrence says, as much as my kids love the Packlids, they love this finale more. Your kids have good taste, Mark.
We are back. We are back. I am back.
Yeah.
Hello, Stuart.
Hello.
Great, some great subjects. Ray, keep letting us know what you guys think of the episode. We really would like to know. And vote in the poll.
Says, regarding Miglemo's combat, I saw comments saying that he tapped out. I rewatched the scene and there was a movement of his wing that could be interpreted as such. It was just indicating he's still alive. And I would argue in a court of law that he actually won that fight because she got incapacitated before he did. And he only got capacitated because she fell on him. So,
or it's Lodex saying they killed Miglimo without telling us, because if she won, she had to beat him. By beating him is killing him. But they didn't want to show him be splattered to death, so they killed him, and that was the death. So until we see him again, he's dead.
Well, yeah. After that, they're all standing at the top, get ready to sign over the ship, and the swords drawn and all that, and Miglimo was not amongst them. But one could assume he's just in the
hospital,
getting medical attention.
Isn't he? Yeah. And actually, I know it's a side note, but they'd sort of zip past the fact that the very first humans to be on Orion, were the people we saw last time. So to have that many Starfleet officers suddenly there is actually a giant, huge, massive deal. Obviously, they broke the seal with the last episode, but we've gone from being no one's ever set foot on Orion to see the culture to we'll just get there and land and we're going to get arrested. And it was a big deal. That could hopefully lead to more next season, because if I kind of applies it might.
Yeah, well, Freeman got a special commendation.
Yep, saved her.
Thanks for opening up relations with the Orions again. So, Sergeant Montgomery, $2. Quark has the lobes for Genesis Planet franchises.
Oh yeah, first thing on there should be a bar.
Well, he always wanted a moon of his own, so maybe he just decided to create a Genesis device and make his own planet. Matthew DeFreitas, member for 12 months at the rank of lieutenant.
Thank you.
Season 4 was by no means the best season, but they had the second best finale behind Riker's Titan arrival.
That was... It would be hard to beat that. Let's be honest, that was incredibly epic.
Yeah. King of Ice, huge. It's in $5. Maybe the reason we haven't heard anything about the sixth season is the name of the show is going to be changed to Star Trek Cerritos. Well, they're already working on season 5. Season 6 was a little premature, but yeah, if they get promoted again, it won't be Lower Decks necessarily.
Yeah, Star Trek Middle Decks, Star Trek Higher Decks, Star Trek Captains. They're all captains now. Yeah, and like you said, there's another full season to go, and the industry is in a terrible state right now, but it might be different in 6 months. They can't predict. And, actors can't act, and writers can now just write. So either way, it was never going to get commissioned during a strike. Either strike, it's not going to work, right? So...
Yeah.
But it's the cheapest show, and has the most ability to bring back people and fan love, so it should get renewed. Although obviously any show going more seasons costs more to make, because every star has a right to ask more money each year, because they get in theory more famous, so it's more expensive than ever. So the level of viewership either has to go up or stay consistent or whatever. But it's still good.
Yeah, Star Trek Midshipman is what it'll be called next.
Yeah, and you wouldn't want to change the name because branding would be terrible.
Yeah.
5 seasons of Low Decks and then 3 seasons of Star Trek Mid Decks and then, yeah. Not practical, but that's okay. Because they still start in Low Decks, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like for the 1 season of DS9, they're not at DS9 almost at all. Should that be called Star Trek Defined or Starbase 12? You know what I mean? Like, are not the later seasons of Star Trek Dominion War? They're not really DS9 anymore, are they? They're Dominion Warring. Just saying.
Dominion Warring.
Which would be a great game for a show, though. Star Trek Dominion War.
Yeah. 46 people here and 28 likes, guys. Hit that like button.
Is that it? Stuart.
Yeah, Stuart. It's not my fault. I'm doing my part.
Rally the call one more time. Like Spike. Like Spike. Like Spike. Like Spike. Stuart, join me. Like Spike. Like Spike. Okay. 28. We want 32. And vote in the poll. So, Stuart, the burning question on everyone's minds. What did you think of this episode of Season 4, Episode 10? How do you think of it as a season finale? And did it improve, because we've not discussed it since, in multiple viewings?
I enjoyed the hell out of it. It had a very cinematic feel to it. Definitely invoked Star Trek 2 and some of the Next Generation movies. And I thought it was wonderful. Now, on subsequent viewings, it actually was still very enjoyable. It actually was better, I think, in my opinion. Because you knew where it was going. You could just really enjoy that ride and look for the similarities for Star Trek 2. Listen to the musical cues. The music was so on point with this. It was really good. We didn't have that movie episode this season. This is the one that kind of filled that gap for me. And it was just epic. I love ship stuff, as you know. So to see that was fantastic. And adding to the Genesis explosion, adding the sucking all the ion storm in was a nice touch that was just missing from Wrath of Khan. Because in Wrath of Khan, the ion explodes, and then just the nebula just disappears, which doesn't make a lot of sense. This was better to add to it. So, it's a really fun episode, well paced, very action packed, and I love seeing Mariner do good Mariner things. Her hanging out with her buddy GD, Genesis device, and it was fun. It was absolutely a fun, fantastic episode. As far as finales go, I think it's right up there with some of the best finales. It's nice resolution. The Tendi thing, I think, is going to get rectified pretty early on next season, so I'm not too concerned about that. Did wait for a post-credit scene because it really seemed like they were heading that way with the warp effect and the different closing titles, or the closing credits, and did not get that. So there's no hook for next season except for that Tendi's gone. But that's okay. No, I enjoyed it immensely on my second and third viewings. So there you go. How about you? What did you think? And actually, was it better for you the second time?
Well, and last of all, for you, how does it then, as a part 2 to the part 1 now, feel?
Yeah.
Because this is the part 2.
it made part one feel less good to me. um, I I thought it might improve part one to see part two, but I think part one lets this or part two lets part one down a little bit, or part one lets I don't know what I mean. Shouldn't have been a two-parter necessarily. I wouldn't have mind if they snuck some of this stuff into the first part and kind of expanded on stuff a little more. Didn't really need the Orion stuff, but can see why it was important to the story.
Because we asked, I've said last week, but a few days ago, because LA.
Yeah.
Did this did this make last week better? Did this not make last week better? That was the big question we had, having now seen part two.
Yeah, it made the last week's worse in my opinion. It's just there was so much potential that could have been snuck into that one, which just wasn't there. So, yeah, that's my thoughts.
Okay.
How about you? What about your second watch through? How did it feel?
So, first watch, my gut was best of the season, which is always a nice feeling to have because that's a high bar, right? Second watch, I'm probably maintaining that, but I feel like I have to watch the rest of the season back again to make that judgment. It benefits hugely from being so grand. A scale I don't think we've seen in Lower Decks ever. Even if structurally it's only about this group of like 12 pirate ships that don't do any pirating, right? It's a very, very small story in that technical sense, and very low stakes because, like, what, you know what I mean? Like, it's very small in that sense, but because almost every scene is filled with stuff, big stuff, small stuff, action stuff, moving stuff, character stuff. It feels really dense, and so it's jam packed of stuff. It is non-stop action in that regard. We said last week that it would need so much payoff and setup inside the payoff to kind of structurally work, because last week did not do a particularly great job at building, especially, now feels like they padded the hell out of last week when they should have refined. Probably I would have cliffhangered at Genesis device. What do you think?
You would have what with the Genesis device?
Have the cliffhanger be at the Genesis device reveal.
Yes.
Because that would have got you
better.
Knowing what's happening, and then how do we stop it? Bump. And then you get to resolve it.
And have Captain Freeman go, Mariner, like, why are you there? Are you turning on Starfleet?
Before she twists, so you think maybe she's on their side. There's no reason she would be, but you can play into that a bit more. I think that would have been a much more epic midpoint. But then it would.
I agree.
It would telegraph more though that was the important point of the story, because if you cliffhanger on the moment, that's going to be the thing that stops it. You know it's going to go off. Whereas without that, you don't know if it's really going to be in the story or not. It goes off obviously, but you don't know. But that would have been more logical, I think, to take some padding out of part one and give us about 3 more minutes of part two to deal more with Locarno. Honestly, he's whatever. But, the stuff we love, ships, tech, is great. We progress a lot of people. That's important. And it all feels pretty well earned. Mariner is the risk-it-all sort of person, but she's not doing it stupidly, which I suppose now, saying that out loud, the whole season's about her risking for stupid reasons, because now she risked it for save the universe reasons and not in stupid ways. That's growth. Mariner's mum, of course, used captain's yacht, great plan, great way around it. Although she really just flew to a place. Like, she didn't actually do anything. You know what I mean? Like, really, but she made decisions that were good, but she didn't, but she was good, and she's going to get accommodation for that. Boimler got to see in the captain's chair, doing finally what the Hollow programs have sort of taught about to do. That was satisfying. Not really much for Rutherford in this, but that's okay. Not everyone gets everything everywhere. And Tendi once again embraces her Orion side, which she'd been really hesitant, is too light a word, to ignore all the other seasons. And now we know a lot about it. And now having opened the relationship with Earth, Starfleet, in season 5, in theory, that could lead to some interesting stuff with Tendi, etc. Or Tendi's leaving for half a season and Talin's replacing. Because at the end, I noted you've replaced a science with a science, and Tendi often isn't in it very much. And and T'Lyn is often not in it very much or a lot. So you could absolutely have it be the official replacement, and it would not be a bad thing, be a sad thing, but it would be an interesting twist. So that's all interesting. It's not really an episode that pays off the season. It's an episode that pays off things you saw in the season. And there's a distinction there, because there are no real hints in the season. When you see the Genesis device in the Ferengi ship, there's no sense it's there for any reason except reference. But so you could not predict it's important when you watch it, or the Ferengi being, whatever. But by the end, you're like, I see all the pieces that have been put in place, and there are many. But none of the pieces were there in an organic way as to think they were clues. So it doesn't feel like a successful payoff, but it feels like a season-loving episode. And it would be interesting to see if they actually had done a bit more work as to properly set up the resolution, because it would have been probably quite a lot more satisfying. But, if it's an episodic show at heart, then this being pretty standalone, really, with all the stakes in one episode being introduced and finished, that's what Lower Decks is. It's a standalone episodic piece, so you kind of get what Lower Decks is. Still, that's why you can still enjoy it fully, because it still does what Lower Decks does, even if the potential for more is left on the table, which is sad, because they could have done a lot more with the bigger stuff.
Yeah, well, longer runtimes would benefit the show immensely, but stuck to the format that they have, unfortunately. So,
well, this one was 30 minutes, though.
Yes, it was.
Keep making it longer, or keep going at 30 minutes. I'll happily take longer episodes. And as for, I do think, last week looks worse in comparison, I do think. But I think the season looks better as a whole because of the fact that it pulls in so many elements. But it would be interesting to now watch it and see. And now knowing, which I think is important, the second watch of the season, the big bad is so ridiculously small that we won't be, remember originally we're like, it's a mirror universe, which sets up these big concepts, or it could be aliens from another dimension, or it could be whale probe aliens. These are giant concepts that are super exciting. It's just some guy, right? Like, the stakes are so low. Yeah. Now, knowing that, you'll watch it and we're like, okay. Like, it'll feel less big, but it'll feel more on the level it's meant to feel. So that's the double-edged sword of big ideas and then small payoffs.
Yeah. The only thing that bothers me a little bit, and it's not even that big a deal, is when we first see the ship, it's only one life sign aboard. I would just assume that only Nick Lacarna was on at the time, but then he abducted the ships, and he only put the command crew down on the planet. The rest of the crew mutinied and joined his fleet. So then he gets more people acquired to get on his ship. Because when they said there was only one life sign aboard, I assumed it was a small shuttle-sized ship, not a big ship. That's
although it isn't big though, because this non-steam runner is not big, so it's still meant to be quite a small ship. Big corridors.
You see the corridors, you see people walking around, you see it's a pretty spacious ship inside.
But it is
Wouldn't
true.
have expected it to be that big.
No. Although you could argue he's a shitty ship designer, so he builds giant corridors for a ship that's not very big. Because he's, I think that's part of the joke. He's not designed a good-looking ship. Is the joke, right? It's very, its own thing. But I do like, now you've said that, the Binars only join the crew after he recruits them, because they can't be on there until he takes the ship, and that's like 3 or 4 episodes in. So the one life sign evolves into more people as they go. Yeah.
Ray Ricks, though, throws in £5.
Thank you.
And says, I love that they showed in the Ferengi episode that everything costs something on Ferenginar, and then the bomb needed 2 bars of latinum to disarm. Yeah.
Yeah, you had Mark Twain, you had all the different aliens, you had... It's all there. It's a very piece on a chessboard. But it's not a payoff to that. It's odd.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's...
Oh, hold on. Toyota says, were the stakes really that low? The formation of an independent and armed power would be a pretty big deal for the setting. They had 12 ships, and you saw the scale of them. They were all small, light cruisers. One sovereign could come in and wipe half them out. 3 Defiants. I mean, Like, there wasn't a Romulan derelict. That was a small Romulan ship. Like, these were lower decks, non-captains, so none of them were experienced crews. They're all lower decks officers. Like, you send in 10 Starfleet ships, you could destroy every single one. Not remotely a problem. Now, yes, if they'd had 50 more ships following them, but it was a tiny armada, tiny, and especially Klingons. My God, can you imagine a Klingon fleet saying, "F this, we're gonna go take them out"?
Or Cardassians, or
I mean, 3
Romulans,
1 Scimitar, 3 Valdors. I mean,
but then this is where people will say, "Well, what about the Trinar shield?" You'd find a way around that to get to their fleet, honestly. And if their fleet can't leave, and you just wait till they leave to do something, and then you take them out.
Well, and are the stakes so low? If the threat is 12 ships inside a bubble that can't leave because they'll get destroyed, where's the threat? It's not. It's just 12 mutinies then. Doing a little colony of people. Yes, they might have a solar system. Good for them. There's no threat there. And unless they left with all the ships, then they'd have no threat, because each individual ship is small and impowerful. This is why it's odd that he made this giant statement to the galaxy, or the quadrant, join us. What if lots of
the lower deckers?
But what if actually they didn't resolve this? What if like 50 ships did and were coming towards them? Like the fact that it's implied nobody, because there's never any knowledge of that, there's never any push forward. It's like, well, he maneuvered 12 crews, cool.
Yeah.
If there'd been 50 ships coming to join them, fine, sure. But without that information going in, then he's just a band of pirates. Yeah.
Well, that's why he needed the Genesis device. It was his bargaining chip. It was, if you come in and do anything, we're going to use this against one of your worlds or whatever. So that's why he needed that so importantly.
Yeah.
It was his thing. So.
But obviously he can't use it because they don't have a bargaining chip. That's the irony. It's WMD. But obviously
once you use it once, you only have to use it once, and then he doesn't have it. So.
Yeah, and it's not as if, it doesn't really help if one ship leaves and they've got the bomb back at home, and that one ship was taken over. Lacan can't say, "Oh, you took out one of our ships. I'll go bomb Vulcan." Oh, well, I've done it. Well, now we're going to kill us all. Like, the point is they stay in their bubble and say, "Don't attack us, otherwise we'll attack something." That's the whole point. As soon as they leave and do anything, it becomes moot. And no offense, the Klingons will react quickly if they get attacked more times. Like, if they pushed it further, especially the Romulans, their cloaking devices, they would go into the strike team and take him out. Like, he's not a smart guy, really.
No. The plan doesn't hold up under scrutiny.
But that's okay. He's not the smartest guy. So that's why it's interesting. It's a really personal tale about some guy who achieved a lot, considering he managed to rally 12 plus races, of very different personalities, all to join forces successfully. That's really impressive. Well, like, good for... Well, they yeah, it was supposed to be all independent, like, everybody, and that wouldn't work. That's what happens. Also, that wouldn't work.
They all say, "We're out. No, we're not helping you with this." So...
Well, yeah, who's the leader in a non-leader society? All equals.
Yeah, exactly.
So, you know what I mean? It's a really interesting idea that I just wish they had more than one episode to explore.
Yeah.
And this is why you really almost should have put Locarno in early episodes and then had saying peacefully, "Oh, I've got some ships back home," and you could really set it up as being one of the potential plot points.
Yeah. Classic for real, $2. Where was the hot chick who wasn't Ceto in Nova Squad? She was in the mess hall. She was taking a nap.
No, she actually was there. She
ran away at the beginning. That's who was running away from the squad. Yeah.
Yep, which is really, really subtle, but good for them for doing it. Because, the whole point is that they're all together. But yes, we start off with very happy Sam, because I joked, as if you recall, guys, last week, "Oh, they won't do this because it'll cost lots of money to do." They did it. They did a full pre-TNG episode flashback with full voice cast, including actress who hasn't acted in 26 years, who Mike has said that they had to track down. They don't know how to get in contact with her. And they had to re-get her in SAG to do it because she couldn't do it legally. So they'd literally get her back to an actor's point, which means she gets insurance and stuff. Like, a whole process just to do a very, very small part.
Yeah.
But it's really her.
Yeah. General Grievous, member for 18 months at the rank of lieutenant, says, as Sam says, "Nice plan, but a bit shit. he can't use the Genesis device on their world without lowering the shields. Klingons or Romulans could glass them.
What? Yeah, also there's probably cloaked Romulan ships nearby anyway. And it's not as if you can't find someone at warp and then shoot them. And even if you Genesis in warp, that doesn't just destroy the ship. It's a very odd plan.
Ray Ricks, £5. Our Nova Squad cursed. 3 are now dead, and 1 is a pseudo evolved space god.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. No, it's true. It's true. It's a band of people. Really. Yeah. Oops. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, good.
Wesley Crusher returns. He was Nova's Boimler.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's good.
Yeah, we're going to see a doe-eyed young mariner, like, looking up to Ceto. And word on the street is that Ceto's, like, 2 years ahead of Mariner at this point. So, yeah.
Third year and first year, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good intro and a good flashback. I really enjoyed seeing it. I love seeing Mariner all excited for, like, Xeno history and preservers and everything, learning about the Zindi. Like, the name drops were good. So,
and it's a really surreal scene because you could do it in Prodigy, but it'd make a little bit less sense. They managed to do a TNG prequel scene, totally serious. This is not a joking scene. That actually does add to the texture of that show from TNG. That introduces Josh, who's the one that dies, we've never met in the 20-something years. So now there can be a convention where they get the actors from Nova Squad to return, all the 4 that were in the 80s or 90s, and there's one guy as voiceover artist in 2023. That's Nova Squad, first time at a convention. Like, that's crazy, right? But it's true, and that's meaningful. Wesley didn't sound young. That's okay. He's not young. But hey, Paris. I mean, he sounded not Paris. He sounded fantastic. Really, really honed into this not Paris role. He didn't sound like Paris at any point. He didn't vibe Paris. Great job.
Yeah.
I don't think necessarily you would have said, "Oh, that's not Ceto's voice." Had it been someone who sounded like her, she doesn't sound that like that much like she was in her 20s. When you know it, so you're like, "Oh, cool," but. You know what I mean? I didn't necessarily say, "Oh, that's the actress from TNG." Okay, I guess it was, but she doesn't really have a. Why doesn't I thought she was gonna have more in this scene? Even the second time watching it, because the first time I was really embracing the coolness of it. Second time I was thinking, what is the? Is the point of it just to well, not the point of it, but like, is this implying they're going to bring her back for season 5 for more Mariner flashbacks? Because I feel like this is a prequel scene. I say it all the time, to set up other cool things. Now we know exactly when Mariner is, exactly how she is. I would love to see have scenes with Wesley Crusher as prime Wesley, in his prime of a cadet. That's really great, before this anyway. And all Ceto is great. Like, this is a really, really fertile thing, especially if Mariner's mum's on the Enterprise D. You can have a lot of fun with that in next season if Michael's to finally go into the backstory of his character. Cool. But yeah, really special. And to have Wesley Will Whedon for like 6 lines is quite fun. So it's Wesley twice in 2 years. Season 3 of Picard and here. Huzzah.
Yeah. Ozzy throws in $2. Wesley is time traveler from Nova Square. I think you mean Nova Squad, but
yes, he does.
Yes. And General Grievous says, "Was that Boothby with the beard?"
Yes,
no,
so.
Boothby.
Oh.
Yes. Boothby was in the scene. He was in the establishing shot. You see him with his hat taking care of like one of the bushes. So Boothby is there.
Mm-hmm. And also like the visual storytelling here, that it's hard to make an animated character who has no wrinkles look young. Easier for old, harder for young. So what they did, visual storytelling, is A, subtle body language, and B, they put Ceto on a step. So she's higher than her, bigger. She's not going to be... Mariner's not grown or shrunk since she was 18. But in this scene, she feels young because she's being looked down or looking up to. It's a very good way, and Wesley's lower because he's younger. Like, very, very simple way of making her feel young in a scene while only being 2 years. It's great. It's really, really good storytelling there.
I do like how it ended, too, this scene with saying the only name that people are going to remember is Locarno. He's like, nah, they'll remember Nova Squadron. It's like... he's not the baddest of guys. He was just a little bit misguided, but he wanted them to kind of all share in it. So it leads into the plot of this episode where he wants other people to join. And I love that he thinks that he gets Mariner too. Like, Mariner's been disgruntled with Starfleet. She's the perfect addition. She's going to back me no matter what. Just drag her up to the bridge and do a broadcast. But yeah, I like that it wasn't all about him.
No, indeed. He's doing it. He's not ego driven per se. This character, he wants a team. He wants a family. He wants to be famous, but for doing tasks, for doing things, not for being him. Because he couldn't do the arrangement, the whatever the thing was called, by himself. It is a team effort. So he wants to make this group of friends who he loves amazing. So I appreciate that. It's a good way of, because in the episode of TNG, everything's very much in the wraparound of conspiracy, of they're lying, they're doing each other's backs. This is before the guilt. So it's really important to add this context. He's not doing it for him. He's doing it for them, and to be a big pilot. Maybe once get assigned to an Intrepid class. Maybe fly out in grand adventures across the galaxy. Maybe fight the Borg. A pilot, just a famous pilot. But I don't see the. I don't see it. It's a great scene though. Great scene. But it's simple. It's not funny. Yeah. It's not big. It's simple, but it's nice.
Yeah. And then he says to Mariner, "I saved you, and you're exactly who I need right now." So.
Which works better second time watching, because you're thinking, oh, he thinks he knows her. He's read her record. You don't know people just by reading files on them.
Yeah.
But from being, because she is literally the most demoted ensign in Starfleet. That was a season 1 setup. So you think it's an easy sell for someone like him. Say, just join us. I'll give you a whole ship. So this made a lot of sense second time. And he's so brash and I'm almost there that she doesn't see her, truth.
And it's like, nah, this is... She even says you were like a junior member of Nova Squad.
So he's trying.
Introduce you to Nova Fleet.
Yes.
Nova what? Yeah.
I also like how Mariner has jet black hair and he's got lots of grey. They're almost the same age. Just saying.
He's had a harder life, though.
I guess so. Well, you say that, but she's fought Starfleet problems. She's the Dominion War steward. She's quite a shitty life.
Yeah, but she's got Starfleet Medical on her side, taking care of her, fixing her up.
But you know what I mean? Like, he's 2 years older, and yet the look of them, it's harder animation to commit, because they were kind of nebulous in her age in early seasons. She could have been the same age as Boimler, could have not been, etc.
Devo says the question is, did Mariner stop hanging out with Sito after the accident? Hence why Sito feels like she was so alone the last years of the Academy. I still think there's more story there to tell. Like some misunderstanding or something that Mariner had to go do something and Sito assumed that she was ignoring. I don't know. There's got to be something, because that just is a little bit of a disconnect for sure.
Yeah, no, for sure. This is part of Mike's big plan, right? So there's going to be more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Matthew DeFridas, $2. Am I the only one who saw V'ger here? I mean, that one thing with the tunnel thing is kind of like V'ger a little bit, yeah. But it's not, so you're not the only one that noticed the similarities, trust me. Let me get the Admirals.
First time together, which is cool.
Yeah.
Admiral and Admiral.
They're talking about the mutinies on all the ships, and we can't fire. We can't go in guns a-blazing, because that'll start wars with separate factions. That's all part of Locarno's plan, I guess. So they're kind of at a stalemate a little bit. Yeah, they do establish here that the crews moved against their captains in bloodless coups, got them off the ship, and joined Locarno. So, and they're talking about dealing with the ambassadors from all these different species. Because
there's a difference, if they're legally allowed to coup, I suppose. But if no thing's been fired, I mean, freedom of whatever, I don't know. I mean, you know, they could still come and get them, but Locarno didn't start a war. He recruited people. He what's the word? He poached them.
Yeah.
And if we go in guns blazing, well then we are attacking Klingons, we're attacking Romans, we're attacking whatever. You know, it's
and their property, the ships.
And their property, yeah. Although it's not in Federation space clearly, but whatever. I won't get into the distance and time and space again. It's not worth it.
But you want to, your brain, I can hear it like trying to scratch its way out of your skull.
Tick, 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 yeah. But yeah, stand down, Freeman. We'll let politics do its thing. Then we get another great fleet shot, and for the first time in canon, the TNG Sphinxes are made canon, looking fantastic.
The big work beast sleds, yeah. We see the inside of the ship, and it gives me Dead Stop vibes. The Dead Stop station from Enterprise, with all white. But yep, you see the inside of the ship, and he designed the ship himself, obviously. No Starfleet carpeting or wood paneling here.
Who likes carpeting?
Everybody.
But that's a funny reverse reference.
Yeah.
Boy, those are tall corridors. My goodness. Wow. Because is the joke it's tasteless? Because he's not Tom Paris. Is that the joke? I feel like
no idea.
You wouldn't say you designed it unless you're making a joke of Tom Paris designing his ship. Is this meant to be shit? Or is it meant to be so futuristic it's... you know what I mean? If there's something here, I just don't know what they're exactly trying to say. And this is their station, not his ship. Maybe. Yeah. No. No? Yes.
No, it's the ship. It's a ship because he goes up to the bridge and he's sitting in his captain's chair with the wraparound consoles, which he has later in the episode.
So I don't know if this is one leading up to, because they do see because you can see the tunnels leading into his ship, and so you know the scale of a person, so there isn't that much space in the ship. You've got very good scale indication.
Anyways, he goes broad, all bands, subspace channel.
Cool bridge too. With 3 binars.
Yep. One of them must have been put on the planet. Maybe.
Don't know. But my assumption is that the point of the joke is that they are a new Trinar collective who rebelled, and therefore they invented the force field and they're running it. I assume.
I think so. That's the implication with the yeah.
Because I don't understand. Is the Trinar force field meant to be? It's a force field called a Trinar field, or is a force field he named after them?
That's what I think it is.
Or is it the 3 binars who form a Trinar? They are running it, so it's their force field. Because it sounds to me just like it's called a Trinar, like a Thalaron cannon. It's a type of force field, but I don't think it is. I think it's just a force field that 3 binars invented.
Yeah, that's the implication you get from it. With the way Mariner says something about that later.
Certainly in second watch, you're like, huh?
Yeah.
Now, can Locarno talk to everybody in the quadrant in real time?
That's the implication. Yeah, I don't know.
I guess.
But yeah, the Cerritos picks up the broadcast, and Freeman's upset to see Mariner there. Well, not upset. I think she's worried at this point, but she's not. Doesn't look like she's being held against her will necessarily. Yeah, and this is where he goes on to say, biggest unaligned fleet in the Alpha Quadrant. The Maquis would like a word. But then we see flashes to an Andorian ship, a Temerian ship, and if you're tired of risking your life for soulless bureaucratic captains who don't even know your name. And then we switch to Petra's ship. The archaeologist is there, which I liked. That was a great touch.
With her new crew, because they did not have a crew last time.
And he's basically making an appeal to the lower deckers to turn on your captains and join the fleet. So.
And what do you think of shirtless Temerian? Are you interested? You in there?
Nah, I'm good. Good.
Real tall guy.
Might be interested.
Now that's a crossover. That's a real big Temerian. You know,
yeah.
Chaka is not when the walls fall. That guy is not huge. This guy's built.
Shako and the rod rose. What?
When the towel fell, yeah. That would be an interesting thing if all the low decks towel guys meet up at a towel guy convention.
Oh yes, there needs to be a towel guy convention.
There needs to be a towel guy. That was definitely cool. But this is never explored. Do the lower deckers really feel neglected? I don't know, because if there's only a few ships in this fleet, you could bribe them with promises of power, which is different to you don't like being a low deck officer.
Yeah.
Again, one episode, you can't explore the themes, you can't explore the motif. It's not explored enough. On first watch, none of it makes a difference. You're just enjoying the ride. It's not deep enough, unfortunately, to analyze like this, because there's no resolution to the themes.
Yeah. Classic for real, $5. Another YouTuber, Lore Runner, explains the Locarno Paris residuals issue. Thing is, myth, both were invented by Braga. I can't really afford this super chat.
Oh no. Well, thank you.
Because he's getting stuff ready to send for our 10th anniversary, I guess. That's what he was saying last night.
Oh, damn. Cool.
See. But yeah, we find out they're in the Detrion system, just so you guys know that. And, and they have the same face. They're identical. I don't see it. That's hilarious, considering Boimler's a huge fan of Tom Paris.
Yep, the joke works on several levels. We said they had to address it. An offhand way is absolutely fine. For it to be so annoying to Rutherford is fantastic, as you say. Of all the people, we've heavily said a whole episode that Boimler has a plate of his face. He has hung out with him at a bar, which means close to his face. He doesn't see it. Best person to not see it is the guy that knows him really well. Lovely, lovely.
Yeah.
But missed opportunity of having Tom Paris as a post-credit sequence.
Yes.
And you know, as I said before to you in the review, you end the post-credit sequence with the Cerritos, say the Hood or whatever warps out and meets them, and then our lower deck team are in the briefing room. Tom Paris walks in, now a commander, and Rutherford stands up and says, "Locarno's alive!" And I was like, huh? Locarno! That's Tom Paris. Look, it's the same. And you extend the joke. He's like, "No, I'm Tom Paris. Hey." That would have been, you know, that's like a Marvel level post-credit sequence, isn't it? Just a really nice joke that you'd cost you no more money to do because you've already got everyone's stuff.
Yeah.
But that's okay. But that would have been really good.
And then we get the reintroduction of the Genesis device, and it's important in this. It's import in this. The fact that basically this is my bargaining chip.
Sergeant Roadkill.
Whoa, Danny Janie. $100 super chat. Thank you so
Boom.
much, Danny Janie.
Season finale power right there.
I did really like this season, but preferred when the callbacks were in passing rather than key plot points. Minor gripe for sure.
Yeah, it's super variable, right? If they work, they work. If they really work, they work. But not obnoxious, that's the wrong word. But they can easily just not work quite as well. You know, but it's certainly very low deckian to have the twist be some guy in one episode that wasn't a low deckian, didn't even get graduated. You know, that's very on brand for low decks. Like Bryn Paglin's in the one episode very unimportant race. That's a very low deckian idea.
Yeah. John Walker, $5. Was really hoping Mariner would have found Beverly teaching Thomas Riker how to tap dance in their shared cell. Anyway, yeah, so this is where he hands over the mic to Mariner and says, "Go ahead, Mariner. Tell them about what Starfleet's really like." And she's like, "What up, everybody?" I love Freeman. Atta girl.
Yeah. It's very on brand. No, it's a nice way of doing that.
And we see that Guji is still aboard the Cerritos helping out, so this is where they say we're going to disobey the orders and go in and save our people. Well, Mariner specifically. And everybody checks in and says, yeah, they're down for it.
Including Guji.
Yeah.
He's right there, being good.
He's good now.
He's good now. And he flies now.
We always kind of flew.
Shush you. No, it's nice. It's good. The mom is really evolving. Or just being less stupid, I think. I wouldn't say she's getting better, she's just doing less dumb things. That's just plot related. But this is exactly what Picard would do. You know, I'm disobeying orders. She does say we'll probably get court-martialed. These are the risks of this scenario. Who's with me? And it is genuinely heartwarming when Boimler reads the panel and everyone joins.
Mm-hmm.
That's really nice. And of course, to Lynn's line, it's not double dumbass on you. It's not, but it is her equivalent of what a Vulcan would say. It feels very in character. You know, the Vulcan simple payoff is always very effective. So it's good. Rallying call's good.
Mm-hmm. And Tendi even speaks up here and says, "I think I can help with that."
Yes.
Going to rescue her. So, Kevin Scott 76 throws in $2 and says the V'ger reference is from DVD movie menu items. It's that square rectangular tunnel that they go through with a lightning and there's like the one thing here that has that. So I think that's what he's referring to.
Right. Okay. Don't know why I'd reference V'ger like that, but maybe. It's fun to see a Packlet ship as well, or at least a Packlet-esque ship.
The one thing that bothers me about her running away from him, because he's like, you just made us look like an idiot to the whole quadrant, and that was my entire plan. And then she slides down the ladder, but she does it like the rung way, where you hold the rungs and you just there's no rungs. It wouldn't work. It's not. I looked. I noticed the first time. She doesn't jump down. She does this. That's not the right kind of ladder to do that. I'm sorry to say. Unless there's an invisible railing or handrail that we don't see.
Well, there are Romans aboard.
Cloaked handrails for your safety and convenience.
I mean,
it's a small thing.
Yeah, they could just have done rungs, couldn't they?
They should have.
I guess in theory, for the 17 frames where this animation takes place, they have to actually track it, so she's connecting with them, which would be annoying. Good point, Stuart. Good point.
Yeah.
But she bongles the Ferengi, fine, just goes all around dock. We silhouette a ship, and she goes in. Clearly Starfleet from the Elcars. She cycles the thing, and we see the Enterprise C bridge, even with that front console.
Yeah, that side view. There's nothing at the front of the ship except for like the view screen. It looks like a theater. It looks like a home theater setup, or like a classroom. It doesn't really look like a bridge, honestly, with the way it's set up.
It's a weird one.
Like, okay.
I mean, that's the thing. The Enterprise C looks great when you look forwards. Just don't look to the side.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing there. But they have, and it's actually a good angle. You can, well, no, okay, so it's a little bit different. On the Enterprise C, they've got side LCARs, which they're missing. Yeah. Front LCARs they're missing, like actual displays, not consoles. And they're also missing the top layer of LCARs on the back wall. So it's all more one layer. Obviously low deck style.
Very simplistic bridge, actually.
I didn't think I liked this bridge until I started working with it for a fan film. Looking back, it looks really cool. Because it's all kind of there's depth upon depth upon depth. Although I don't know what the point of that front station is. As soon as you walk there, you're obscuring everyone, especially the captain.
Yeah, well, I assume it's for the captain to walk up to, like a situation table, maybe.
Hey, maybe that's not bad. Because it's literally they just nicked a table from a different movie. Like that, there wasn't. Yeah. Because it's the Star Trek 5-6 table, just there instead. So it's like we're just gonna plonk it here. You're meant to sit down to it.
Yeah, Phoenix Gundam says it didn't notice it was the Enterprise C bridge. It's so many bridges. It's the battle bridge of the Enterprise D as well. It's all redress.
Well, that one hasn't got the back.
Well, but it's reused.
I know, but they did design it differently for the C. Same core, but they did different things on purpose for this one. And we get the cutest bit, of course, Mariner really crushing on her doomsday weapon.
buckles it in even for safety.
Don't blow up your friend.
Yeah.
And then she used her mother's stolen passcode, which I suppose is one of those default codes that if you need it, you can, access Starfleet ships. Which, I mean, hey.
Could come in handy. There's many
Yeah.
situations where it would be useful.
Yeah, do I hate this? I don't know. I think I'm okay with it.
Well, she even says, I knew this would come in handy. Anyway, transfer all systems to the command panel, so she gets a little joystick and she gets a little monitor that pops up. And she takes off. And then this is the USS Pesaro, which was named after a VFX guy who passed away.
Yes.
With Eagle Moss.
Yep, Fabio was one of the core Eagle Moss employees right from the start. He also worked on the fact files. He also worked on he built the Babylon 5 movie station from the TV movie they did, as well as several of the other assets. He also worked on BSG during season 1, Blood and Chrome, and some other things. He modelled many new ships for Eagle Moss. He was the go-to guy. The Voyager, not Voyager concept, but he did a lot of the new stuff that was never built. He also sort of pioneered the way of taking the models from Discovery, which were very specifically built to do specific things, to deconstruct them and reconstruct them in Lightwave so it'd work for Eagle Moss to make their models, to make their renders, all the JJ stuff, all the Discovery stuff, Picard stuff a little bit. He was incredibly well liked. He's an OG Lightwave guy. Everyone in the Lightwave community, when I started 10 years ago, had a Bird of Prey he did, so I knew the name Fabio's Bird of Prey, from a long time ago. I've emailed him several times over the years. I met him at a destination, which was very nice. Worked with him slightly here or there. And you've seen his model on Trekyards. So he passed away from cancer between 1 and 2 years ago, or 2 and 3 years ago. Very sudden, very sad. And he did do some help with Eagle Moss apparently, so they named it after him. He also did redesign the Steam Runner for Eagle Moss, because the original movie ILM one is bare bones, to say the least. And he did a full redesign of that. It's much nicer. So they did this for him, and it's very nice. And considering there aren't any other Federation starships this season, are there?
I don't think so.
There you go. So that's genuinely quite a big deal. And that is his birthday as well. So,
Yeah.
I did pause and have a moment for that, 'cause it's quite special.
Yeah. And just so you guys know, it is officially a Saber runner, not a steam runner. It's a different class of ship. It's smaller than a steam runner. So there you go. But yeah, seeing this seldom used or seen ship kind of highlighted was really nice. Most people just thought it was a steam runner, and that's fine. But anyway, the Romulans are all pissy. They're like, just destroy the damn thing. It doesn't matter. It's like, it does matter. We need the Genesis device. Oh, wait a minute. Romulan commanders are very forgiving. You'll be fine. Oh, shit. Yeah.
Hi, Scottish Nightmare. Yeah, I do like that. All of the scheming, they don't even scheme the simple scheme. Keep up with the schemes, goddammit, guys.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yes, they all zone out. And then straight to Orion.
Yeah.
Which is good, and it goes downhill as it all progresses. But now she has officially taken over, definitely vibing, head of the crime boss family. Now, here she is.
10D2. No can do, 10D2. I laughed at that the first time. That was great.
Yes.
Yeah, she's like, I'm doing a massive merger with another criminal organization. I can't get involved with Starfleet right now. Just destroy the shield. It's fine. They can't do that. We got to punch a hole in it. Give us a warship. Well, I can't just let you borrow a warship. It's not like a used copy of Sword and Scabbard, which I assume is like a game or a movie or something. But anyway, they eventually... Tendi says, I demand barter by combat. And it's like, ooh, more Orion-ness going on. We're learning more about the Orion culture, guys.
Very much. But Classic also asks, what's more implausible? A bunch of random Klingon mercs building a Federation starship, or Nick just randomly having a steam runner?
Well, one would assume he might have had to steal this at some point to... I don't know. I don't think it's unlikely. The steam runners aren't the most important class, or the Saber class. They're a small ship. So... It's a good point, though. I mean, it is a Starfleet vessel still. You don't want to be stealing Starfleet assets.
It's much less likely the Klingons built a ship from scratch.
I was trying to be nice.
They also had Discovery interiors for some reason. But yes, fight. Oh dear. Back to the space battle. Romulan / Orion / Ferengi versus Steam Runner. Not something I ever thought I was going to see. Cool. That is a reasonably good space battle too. Or
yeah.
She doesn't fight. It's not a space battle, but it's a reasonably well done spaceness.
And she can't go to warp because the Trinar force field's in the way, so she kind of skims along it, which was cool.
And I love them always going to warp because they really respect the canon of how that works several times in this episode. Plus, you get a great shot at the front of that bridge and how much detail there is at the front of the bridge. None.
Yeah.
Coming as wide angle. It's like, nope. It is blank, Eddie blank.
This is where Locarno says, hey, it keeps ships in and out. And she's like, yeah, I guess it slipped my mind because the name is so stupid. And then she comes to realization, oh, the 3 binars, right? Can you have 3 binars? Yeah, so...
and is it useful that the shield keeps people in?
For this situation, yes. They
Well,
need
yeah.
the Locarno's like access code to get out. And he's not in command necessarily because they're a cooperative.
Oh yeah, wouldn't they all have the code then?
I don't know. It's a good way for him to maintain control without saying that he's maintaining control, I guess.
Oh, you're free to leave if you can.
Yeah.
Yes.
John Walker throws in $5, so thank you.
Thank you.
John. You knew she was picking Dr. Miglimo the second you saw him in line. Don't lie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. And that's okay. That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
And I love how Mariner's like, nope, not joining you. Boop. Anyway.
Yeah.
Back to Orion. Ugh. Each side selects a warrior, and they choose Ba'eth. Not Beth, Ba'eth for the Klingon or for the Orion side. And of course, you got Ransom like hulking up, like, you like that, yeah. And Shax is salivating, and Kayshawn's also ready to go. But no, pick Maglimo.
And that was the end of my interest in the scene, I'll be honest.
Yeah. Would have much rather seen any of the other ones go at it.
Yeah, give Shrek something to do.
Or Kayshawn. He's been around, but he hasn't said or done anything important this season.
No. But they've been there.
Yeah.
Great. Yes. But yeah, conceptually it's fine, it's just not as interesting. It's fine as a B plot, but the A plot is so interesting and so big and so broad, it just feels daft in comparison. Especially as they've got to travel from Orion to random planet outside of Federation space. I mean, obviously they're outside, they're in Orion space. But did Locarno pick a place next to Orion? This could be 2 weeks away. They've got to get there that day.
I knew. Here's your brain coming.
Well,
just scratching at the skull earlier. Here we go.
Yeah, I just, that's the problem. They had to go to Orion first, which would take several days, if not weeks, and then to get there to there. That's the question to ask Mike. How do they get from place to Orion back? Because if it's all the same place, then she could just have gone and attacked him herself.
Yeah. Don't hurt yourself.
I really care about distance in Trek, because it's a huge, important thing.
Until it's not, which it normally isn't. It's storytelling purposes, unfortunately.
It used to be more important.
Until it is. Until the story demands that it is.
But, wonderfully, they're about to jump into Titan AE as they go into an ice ring, and lots of lovely shots that very reminiscent to that fantastic film. Again, nice shots, good piloting. Mariner's not trying to hurt anybody. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I wish there would have been more of the Titan AE thing where you see reflections of the ship. So, like, the Ferengi see the ship, like, everywhere. You don't really get that in this one.
No. It's very visually linking to other things, which is fine. But I think, Stu, 80 votes. Let's look at the poll results. We asked you an hour ago, which is the best season of Lower Decks? And the winner is this season at 40%. Season 2 by a measly 1% over number 3 at 26%. Season 3 at 25%. And Season 1 at 9%, which is not many people. What do you think about these results? Stuart?
Surprising. I think it's just because this season's fresh in your minds, guys. I would go back and watch the other seasons. I think there's more gold in Season 1 and 2 than this season. This season ended good, for sure. But overall, I don't know if it's the best season. Let's see. We have 55 likes, which is pretty good, but I think we can get to 60. We have 64 people here. So let's get another 5 likes if you're able to. We want to hear from you. We want to hear your thoughts on this. So super chat in. And yeah, let us know what you're thinking. Not gonna lie, Beth was kind of sexy. Classic for real. Oof. There you go.
All right, new poll. Let's get even more confusing and interesting.
Is episode 10 the best episode of the season? Yes, episode 10 was epic, the best. Nah, there was another episode. Number 1.
I'd say,
episode number 1 or just another number 1 episode?
Well, I ran out of letters, so.
Gotcha.
Is this episode number?
For that.
Yeah. More characters, more options, guys. It's been like 2 years. Let us know, though. Let us know which episode was the best. But I do like the scene. I like Mariner. It's very deliberate, right? Because in previous episodes, she's actually hurt people and herself. This episode, she doesn't fight anyone.
Well, there's a ship that crashes into one of the ice asteroids and blows up.
Yeah, but they could have turned.
I'm just saying, somebody died.
Just because you put a boulder in someone's place. But every time she actively participates in something directly, she does the thing that doesn't kill them. But yes, of course, that other thing happened. But I guess they could have stopped. She talks to every crew, and that's kind of fun to see all their perspectives of these low deckers. Like, why are you doing this? Where's the money? Where's the profit? Whatever. Well, he's just not asking profit. Therefore, we're getting more. You see all the logic, which is quite cool. Mariner's trying to turn anyone against him. Yeah, quite effective.
And Chris Bruce says, I tend not to really care about distance in Trek. To be, they always seem to not really matter, except in offhand, usually in the background. Yeah, but you say that, and then you get things like Into Darkness, where they go from Earth to Kronos in like a couple hours. And that's like a 2-week journey.
And then Enterprise, they spend a season going across indie space.
Yeah, exactly.
Or TOS, when they're so far out, they have to take 3 weeks to get a message back. And that's why they're not getting assistance. If you can reach them in one day, then all the plots where something terrible's happening, you just call Starfleet, they send a ship that day, you'd be fine.
Yeah.
That's why it's called Frontier in the Stars. The distance is really important. Every TNG episode would be different if you could just call for a ship to turn up that day. Because if you can get from Earth to Kronos in a few hours, you can get anywhere in Federation space in a few hours. Anywhere, because that's further. Because that's out past Federation space.
Yeah.
And then you just ask for a new science ship. Well, then you can get from the edge of this quadrant to this quadrant in a couple of hours. And now you've got, wow, we're being attacked. Okay, we'll send all of our ships. How long will it take? 2.5 hours to get here. Damn it, that's so long. Or a shuttle, right? I'll just pop back to Earth. Well, it's funny. It makes the children of Mars even more stupid because, I can't get back for Christmas, Dad, little daughter. I'm sorry. Dude,
You could just beam from Mars to Earth.
Yeah, you're in transporter range, and shuttles will take you like an hour.
Yeah.
You shitty parrot with shitty writers. That's the other opposite. Like, not understanding even local distance.
And this is where people chime in. And Mars is too far from Earth to beam.
No, it's not.
In the solar system with relay stations and such in between, it would just be you'd be fine.
Like, I'm sure you can't civilian beam. I'm sure they're limited to, like, Federation, Starfleet. Like, they've got all the best power conductors. But then you just take a civilian shuttle, it takes an hour, right? Like, you need to be able to get from place to place in our solar system easily. Yeah. Why wouldn't you invent transporters that could piggyback? You know, of course you would. Like, it's not that far. Obviously, it's not in one beam. Like I said, relays. But yeah, it's really important. Especially things like the Dominion War. If the Dominion can send reinforcements, that takes 45 minutes to get to you, and a battle takes 6 hours. Reinforcements. You just keep reinforcing, but that's why there's like these long treks back. It takes you 3 days to get back, and we're damaged. Like, those only have weight if distance applies. Otherwise, they could also chase you and catch you, or it breaks almost the entire universe to have no distance.
It's a coma. If distance doesn't matter, then the only ship in the sector wouldn't be such a trope.
True.
Of the line.
Yeah, every ship is in range. Every ship is in range if it's that quick, because a couple of hours is in range. Sorry. Yeah. I
just love how it's like they either choose it's not important or it's super important for distance. It's like, do what you got to do for your story, I guess. But
yeah, it's really lazy, you know, because it's fine if you'd written. Look, you can't write this sort of story in one day, you know, and not even that in hours. Because also they're implying that they also fixed the Orion ship in like 30 minutes. Because they also had to travel, right? Like, the thing had to be fixed. And
it had to do high warp to get where they need to go. Yeah, it's a problem. Yeah,
because Mariner isn't stuck in this field for 6 days. For even she's not even stuck in the astral field for an hour. She's stuck in there for minutes. I mean, everything happens in the space of an hour or more. Just like maybe 2 hours, but
And Dave says USS Discovery is always in range. Well, yeah, it was one of the points of season 1 where they're like going to each battle and like taking out the Klingons and then gone again.
And that actually would be worth
secret weapon.
And that would be worth talking to Mike about this. It's like, how did they get from place to Orion, find a ship, fix the ship, get the ship there, all in the space of time that Mariner was running from Locarno?
Yeah.
Like, it's not good storytelling. There's so many ways you could be clever around it.
Anyway, she disables the Ferengi sensors and then hides, powers down. And
because that would have been kind of cool, actually, if she says, right, divert all power. How long have I got life support if I turn off all systems? 10 hours. Okay, I'll stay here for 10 hours and be quiet. Like, you could have done that kind of interestingly, you know?
Yeah. But guess what, Sam?
We're
back to Orion. And the fight.
Oh.
Yeah.
Good.
Basically, Megalomo gets the shit kicked out of him until he fluffs his down and she's allergic and she sneezes and then falls on him. Still say he won, but whatever. I love Boimler. I'm going to have to start all over again with a new therapist, aren't I? Oh, anyway.
But it's just okay, right? None of this is very good. Even though I like Mixamo and I like Orion, I like all characters, this is just not particularly interesting.
I love when he's punching her, though. It's like, It's not doing anything.
Sure. It's okay. And then she squishes him to possibly to death. Now, the only thing I like about this, actually like about it, is that you as the audience, obviously he's won. And then it twists to being he hasn't won. So that does give you that nice little factor and forces Tendy's hand, but it's not a very interesting scene. And like I said, there's no momentum here. Giant Mariner storyline. You've gone with Orion. You can't possibly resolve it in the timeline. Yeah. Dumb.
So
but I do like her line though. You know, don't make me make my sword bloody.
Yeah. Our swords are going to get considerably bloodier. Yeah.
Unless you be nice, yes.
I love the ship transfer protocol. Thumbprint. unlocks and then the new person picks it up. That's cool. But of course, Tendi steps in and says, "There's something you want more than this, just a California class ship. Me. I'll come back to the family. You've been wanting it for years."
Mm-hmm.
So, I love how Billups too is like, "It's the pride of the California." Just chill there, Andy. Shut up.
That was
the
very.
engineers love their ships.
Yeah, it was very hauled away as garbage vibe.
Yeah, yeah.
Which I like. You know, you would throw down. Yeah.
Ray Ricks throws in £5, so thank you.
Thanks so much.
I agree. Other seasons had more to them. I love seeing Ferenginar and Orion this season. I think T'Lyn has added something when she's been in the episodes. Yeah, she was missing from quite a few episodes this season. So, but yes, I do love T'Lyn. I wish she was in more, and I'm sure next season she will be, because we might be missing Tendi for an episode or two.
Yeah, because she's not a core low deck, even though they kind of put her in a place that she might be.
Yeah.
But no, Burps is good. Burps is a good bit. Back to the thing, planet. She's like, well, we can't run, we can't hide. All we can do is set you off, so they can't set you off. Very logical.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna bomb a moon. Although,
Oh, no, I think it's a gas giant.
well, it says planetary geoscan.
Yeah, I don't think it's a moon, though.
Gas. Well, planet. I said planet. Is that moon?
It's a planet.
Yeah, so I thought you said gas giant.
Gas giant is a planet.
Well, it's not what you consider a planet, though. It's a big ball of gas with some rock in the middle versus a big giant planet with.
But it's a planet. Jupiter is a planet. Sorry
Sure, but it's a gas planet.
Doesn't.
I know what you mean,
Okay.
but you won't. You don't think you can't do anything with that. It's not a planet. It's not what we think is a planet. It's a big gas thing.
Just launch a Genesis device into it. You can do something with it.
Which is interesting because this one moment, as soon as this one moment passed, I thought it was a nebula. You'd never see the planet in the nebula, so therefore, there's no sense.
Well, she's on her way to the planet. She doesn't make it.
Ah, okay, so, right, okay.
The Romulans intercept her.
Okay.
They decloak and follow her right away.
Okay.
So she almost instantly runs into an ion storm.
Right,
Face
okay.
all these ships.
Because someone
It's
said
not a nebula. It's an ion storm.
Because someone said in the chat earlier that that's what happens when you bomb a planet. But I was like, did they do a planet? I thought they just did a. Okay, good. That's what I thought originally. Okay, cool. So don't go here.
I forget who said it earlier, but they're like, we've never once seen a Genesis device used as it's meant to be on a planet.
Yeah, okay.
It's always it pulled in the Mutara Nebula,
Mhm.
and in this case, it pulled in the ion storm to use the matter to create the planet.
Yes.
And the answer to the question that whoever that was asked earlier, why do they need to use it on a planet, is because this is what I talked about earlier on my live last night. The Goldilocks zone around a star is where habitable planets can exist with the right climate, the right temperature, the right distance.
Yeah.
The Mutara Nebula wasn't in the Goldilocks zone, I can guarantee you. And also this ion storm, who knows where the hell it was. So it's just random that these planets happen to be fine. I don't know. It just makes no sense, but that's okay.
Yeah, because you're meant to pick a planet that is in the right location to form life, but hasn't X, Y, Z to form life. And then you rejigger it, because you can have planets that are slightly off, that could be Class M, but weren't for various reasons, right? Not every planet in a Goldilocks zone become Class M for various reasons.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like if you do need, you do need water, like, because we had things hit us that gave us water, etc. It's like these are important things that would happen. But she goes, looks cool, and then we get a giant ass ship, very similar to the Kazon, Herodian giant, whatever it was called, ship, at least stylistically, and similar to a very well loved Discovery Klingon ship, the most famous of all. That sort of well, it looks like this. Everyone loved it. It was a top selling Gilmos model. I know you've got at least 3 around your house.
Dapu.
Much loved, right, Stuart?
Oh yeah, it's fucking great.
By much loved, I mean trash beyond belief.
Yes.
Yes. 0% Klingon. Not even 1%. 0% Klingon. This one, though, kind of cool. Check out a video on it. And it is giant, to the point where you'd said that even though I showed you this shot, you couldn't see Cerritos, and then when you saw Cerritos, you're like, oh no. Like this is longer than a Borg cube, hands down, not a question.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, Zango says, what's wrong with the planet right there? The one with the rings around it that she's currently in. She was looking for an uninhabitable planet. So one that would never support life. Could be that this planet, the rings are around, has some kind of microbial life. The whole point of a Genesis device is you got to find a planet where nothing's going to evolve eventually, so you don't destroy life. So yeah, it's she wanted to go to one that was definitely not going to use life.
Because yeah, if you watch Star Trek 2, Chekhov's annoyed because they've been there for a long time not finding all the criterion, because any microbes of any kind, even one cell organism,
could evolve eventually.
Will probably evolve eventually, yeah, even if it takes a million years. That's enough. Yeah, we don't want to kill that one microbe called Jerry. Let's not kill Jerry the microbe, right? So it's very specific, because ethical. So yeah, this planet presumably has algae in an ocean, right? Like that's all you need for it to be. She could do it, but she's being better than that.
Thirst Contact, member for 42 months at the rank of Commander.
Dude, you legend. Legend.
Says, of course he's got urine in his display picture. Suck up. I want these bridges in STO. So many new canon bridge designs. Could use it on a planet on the edge of the Goldilocks zone like Mars or SETI Alpha 6. I think Mars would be the ideal one for the Genesis device.
The what device?
Genesis?
Genesis. I was carefully waiting to throw that in, by the way. I held my...
I don't doubt it.
I held my tongue many a time waiting to say that.
Anyway, yeah, they find out that this warship is totally inoperable. She's like, hey, I just said I would lend you the Retribution. I didn't say... We didn't discuss what condition it was in. How extremely Orion of me. Bye.
What a real B word.
What a bitch.
There we go. Okay.
If you don't want to.
But it's fun. It's a nice little twist. Unnecessary obstacle, but it's kind of nice. I do like then you cut to the inside of the ship, and you see this antiquated old ship, which to me, instantly I thought of, and I'm going to do some brightening on the set. Instantly when I saw this, I thought oh god, what was the ship called? Well, the Constellation class from that one episode where they have a war game with the Enterprise, and there's kind of a half-assed engineering set, but it's a set. Yeah. And there's that middle bit they pull out. Hathaway. Like that to me looks like the Hathaway warp core. Like instantly, like old, half-assed. Because this thing is ancient. I thought they gave more of a definitive answer of how old it was in the first viewing. They don't. It's entirely vague.
No, they don't.
But old, trash, can't do anything.
Yeah, Gorgonzola says, do we think that this Orion ship is so ancient that it might be a massive because it was kind of a generation ship? No, they make a point of saying it's a warship and a battleship, both. So, no, I don't think so.
Well, you had pointed out in our other review, maybe generational.
I had mentioned generational ship before as well, yeah.
But I like that Bill says, well, best people working on it, of course, the two people...
Livick and Rutherford.
Livick. And this is when the callbacks continue. We've had Orion, we've now got this. But these are things that we have to just move forward on. And they both have a good perspective, To get the warp drive on, you have to have the shields on. That makes sense. But Rutherford points out you don't need everything to work together. And Rutherford, Philip says this would take months to make battle ready. But it doesn't battle. That isn't important. It only ever crashes with style. So it can move. And in fact, you could also argue it had no impulse engines, because it's being pulled. You probably got, I doubt the Cerritos, I doubt it strongly, it could warp bubble the ship, it's way too big, but probably it had shields and a warp bubble, and then Cerritos pulls it into warp, and it's able to sustain warp, and then tractor beam impulse. Yeah.
Ray Ricks, $2. The Carno is planet forbidden. Listen, it may be planet forbidden, but I'm damn well. Anyway.
Wait. What? Are they telling us now they're going to bring back Locarno again as a reborn?
No, because it's not accelerated, so no.
Okay.
Nice try.
Yeah.
But T'Lyn has a way to fix this and solve the problem, and Billups is like, oh my god, are you going to do a Vulcan note? It's like, no. Something less invasive.
He's so sad about this. Broke the little guy's heart.
Yeah.
And then we got our next callback. We Mark Twain it up. It's equal part cringe and fun.
Why does this work?
But I like her rationale. Yeah. This is crazy people with crazy things. Just works.
And Brad's like, oh my god, it's so beautiful.
Yep.
Interesting callback to the thing from earlier in the season. Anyway. Yeah, so Mariner's like, what the hell is that? And it's a level 7 ion storm, not a nebula. It's in their path. So the computer recommends an alternate heading or damage will occur. So she decides to duck around it. And that's when the Romulans attack. Fucking Romulans. I love that. Anyway. Let's see. Yeah, she basically says, I never thought I'd see Romulans taking orders from a human. It's like, hey, Locarno's given us the freedom to scheme at our leisure. This is where the seeds of discontent are woven.
But also, like, these are the two people from the interrogation chamber, I'm guessing, who want to scheme upon schemes. That felt good.
Yeah. And I love how they mentioned Romulan 12-dimensional chess, not 3-dimensional chess. That's for babies. But anyway.
And then
the coalition of equals, as he calls it. That's it. I'm trying to remember what he referred to it as earlier.
And then you get another great fleet shot as they all meet up. Bad times. And not big ships.
Nope. They're all pretty small.
This is not a fleet that a sovereign have a hard time fighting.
No.
Especially if it fires multiple phases at the same time. One or two quantums, these guys are having a bad day.
Yeah, to say the least.
Bum, 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 bum. Not a threat.
Yep. So the Ion Storm's getting worse, so Locarno doesn't think she's going to do what she does.
Wait, did you say Ion Storm? Mutara class Nebula.
It's an Ion Storm.
But Stuart, it's purple, nebulae, there's lightning, and we're about to have the musical cues of Mutara class Nebula. Which I didn't pick up on until we should get there. They do a good job at kind of hiding the vibe until you're literally in it, and it shifts into Wrath of Khan. Yeah. You choose to go in, and now starts Wrath of Khan 2.
Star Trek 2, Wrath of Khan 2. I like that.
No, Star Trek Lower Decks 4, 10, Wrath of Khan 2.
Blah. All right.
Yes, 4-10-2. 4-10-2-2.
The music in this episode is great, just in general, and recreating these scenes of the ships like playing blind man's bluff in the thing is really great.
There's only two shots that are like actually callbacks. The rest are kind of their own version, but certainly the famous shot. Although the Locarno ship is a bit of an odd design. Doesn't really look like it's going forward. It looks like it's going, like it faces this way to fly. It feels like, so going this way. Now it feels odd. It feels like it's going in a weird direction, but that's okay.
Because it levers up to fire.
I know, but it feels weird now, knowing like the way in this scene just feels a bit odd to me anyway. The orientation. But yeah, it's a real bad time for all involved.
Yeah, and this is where he's having the conversation. You hate command structure just like I do.
Yes.
She's like, I don't always agree with Starfleet, but at the end of the day, they're always trying to do the right thing. And they talk about Ceto dying for no reason, and yeah. Anyway, this basically just convinces her that he's culpability, because she mentions Josh, and he's like, that wasn't my fault. He died because of your ego, man. And he's like, shut up. Yeah, he hasn't dealt with it, so
13 years ago.
Make a good point. And she does make a good point later. She's like, you didn't kill anybody when you abducted these ships. You're not a killer. And he's not. He doesn't actively want to kill anybody. The fact that Josh died because of something stupid he did he's just brushing off the blame. So he's not actually a bad guy.
Yeah, all he did was he put a series of aliens on a planet to murder each other and starve to death.
Or die from the glass rain.
I mean, he didn't kill anybody, he just let them all die.
Yeah.
You know, he just Rathacanned them, which is apt. You know, Kirk didn't kill the people in Botany Bay, he just left them to die. Right.
They were superhumans, they could take care of themselves, it's fine.
Sure. He is a bad guy. Like, he's dumb and he's bad.
He's a bad guy, but he's not an evil guy.
But as he says, I am a murderer. He makes that absolute point. So he actually is that bad, but we are left wondering until right at the very last second. But I like the framing here, I like the lighting here. It's artistic, it's thematic. The binars don't agree. Oh yeah, because the Orion ship comes in. I love the obvious Freeman's got a plan. I thought she was on the Orion ship, that was the impetus, but she's on her own ship. I don't know why they couldn't view screen that, but of course, spoilers.
Yeah, exactly.
And guess who's in the captain's chair, despite lots of other people outranking him?
Yeah. Yeah. The other thing is, why isn't Ransom just left aboard the Cerritos? If I was doing this kind of maneuver as a captain, I'd want my first officer on my actual ship.
Yeah, this is Doomsday Machine level stopping. Why are you letting some guys do first command ever? I know he's a main character, but why is Ransom both security officers on the ship? Ransom certainly shouldn't have been on the ship.
Ransom, no, but the security officers, yes. Because if you have to beam to any of the other ships and maybe get control of them or try to take them over or something.
But then why wouldn't you bring a full security team? Because she didn't. Yeah.
It's only a captain yacht. How many can you fit on there?
30?
Right. Yeah. Sure. If you're shoulder to shoulder.
I mean, you've got a bedroom, a bathroom, a jacuzzi, a second jacuzzi, a walk-in wardrobe, a toilet, a second a guest bathroom, a guest bedroom, you know, rifle range, rifle rack, third jacuzzi. They got space. It is nice seeing Boimler in charge, but it does feel like hero syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
There's no real reason he should be in charge.
I almost expected at the end of this for him to say computer end program. The whole thing was just a holodeck simulation.
It all cuts all the way back to him pulling out the feces from the holodeck. But I do like the
and it turns out they never got promoted the whole season.
Yeah, that'd be bold. And it was all a dream. Oh no! But the Admiral calls up.
Yeah, who the hell are you?
Who the hell are you? Which I love.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll turn the ship around as soon as I rescue my friend. And it's like, yeah, go to full impulse. We need all the power we can get. And they see the Cerritos, the California class, doing what it does best as a support ship. Towing. Love it.
It's an engineering ship. We have seen it towed before. And yet, Bournemouth's professional voice is great. The shot of it towing is excellent. It's a giant ship. So does that mean you could tow a ball cube in theory?
Yeah, if it's disabled and not fighting you, maybe.
Because if mass isn't relevant in space...
Yeah.
Because there's no momentum... I don't know. It's cool. It's a good shot. Although, he does give the order for full impulse twice.
Mm-hmm.
Which makes the second one entirely pointless. Because they already at full impulse.
It's dramatic.
He's an idiot. Just saying. You only give him 5 command lines and one's the same line twice. But yeah, they let it go. And in a very impressive... George Lucas ripped off, inspired, homaged. The thing crashes into the force field like the Superstar Destroyer in Star Wars Revenge of the Jedi. Return of the Jedi. And it's a really nice little sequence of destruction. It does disable the field, but only for seconds. That's a damn good force field. The hell's powering it? Because solar system-wide force field? That would be a big old thing. Great visuals.
Yeah, they sneak through and then it reconnects.
Who sneaks through, Stuart?
In full impulse before it closes.
But who sneaks
Captain
through?
Freeman.
In a captain's yacht. Finally used.
Captain Freeman. I love how Rutherford says, "Wow, I've never actually seen someone use the captain jet."
Yes.
Here, everybody's giving Locarno shit, saying, "You said the shield was impenetrable.
Impregnatable.
They're going to throw a battleship at it." Yeah.
Because you never see collisions in Star Trek. It's really, really rare because these things take a long time to build. And it makes sense, you know, once Starfleet gets in, they're a wildly bunch. So the Binars jump ship and they are not happy. So the Trinars, they're not happy.
And yeah, Ray Ricks, 5 pounds. At least Boimler didn't lose the ship in 15 minutes like a certain other show I won't mention. I think you need to mention it. 'Cause I can't. I'm drawing a blank. Was it Discovery? Is that what you're talking about? I'm trying to remember if that was a thing that happened.
Let us know. But everyone departs, leaves him by himself. He is very confident and assertive, and he sees them, so he shoots and he destroys a nacelle, and it all goes real bad. And that's the other homage shot to Wrath of Khan. And it's a good little sequence, and it's so screwy. And this just occurred to me. As far as Mara's concerned, she's about to commit suicide. There's no escape plan here.
Yep.
But she's not thinking. She's reacting. This is the only thing to do here is to turn it on. She could probably get to a shuttle if there are shuttles, but she has no idea, right? So as far as she's concerned, Bosch is worth dying for. And it's true. You know, you put this on Kronos, and it's not going to go well. So good for her.
And he said it was Tilly in Discovery. I don't think she destroyed a ship in 15 minutes.
More telling us what it is.
Anyway, yeah, she activates the Genesis device. Little Ferengi guy. 5-minute countdown. Oh, a Ferengi Genesis device with the Ferengi voice. Didn't expect that. Why not? I expected that. Didn't expect a little like animated face, but
yeah, I thought that was an odd line. Why wouldn't you think it's their because we assumed they'd stolen it, because why wouldn't they steal it? But they built it. That's theirs. So why wouldn't it be their voice?
Yeah. And anyway, Locarno beams in and says,
new
hey,
guns blazing.
Okay. Yeah. I graduated top of my class. Don't you think I can defuse a bomb? And I'm thinking, you didn't grad. And then she says it. First of all, you didn't graduate. Anyway, yeah. And just second of all, it's too dangerous for anyone to have. So.
Yes, but I like his and I, again, just thought about this. He is sort of retconned his own life, thinking he did finish his journey the way he wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was so great, right? It's like, Nick, you failed your third year and you got kicked out and you bummed around for almost 15 years. You're a bum. You're a space bum.
Well,
go shave.
Say, my perfect life was taken from me, and now I'm getting it back.
Not sure how this is getting it back, but yes.
Yeah.
Real bad times. Real bad times. We have a pretty decent phaser fight. And Mariner believes in him till the last minute, which I love. It's a very good mirror of last episode. You know, I won't fight you. Violence is not the answer. You know, you are not a murderer. I believe in you. Oh, no! But she beams out, luckily. For you. As he phases, nothing.
Devo77X says, Trekyards said he has a pump-action phaser rifle. We never said that. It looks like it might be a pump-action, but nobody ever said that. I didn't say anything about that last night, so
No.
What are you talking about?
Unless he pumps it, it's not pump action.
Yeah.
See, he fires it without pumping it, so it's certainly not a pump action. But,
Ray Ricks, 5 pounds.
Thank you again.
Saru left her in charge, and the Emerald Chain took it over after like 15 minutes.
Gosh, because I remember back to season 4, have we?
Uh,
No, that was season
Devo
3.
Devo 77X says, sorry, I meant Trek Culture. Trek Culture said it was a pump action.
Do they know about rifles as much as we do? How many phase rifles does Sean have?
Sean, I'm embarrassed now for you.
How many phase rifles do I have, Stuart?
5.
2 phase rifles. I have 5 P90s though. Well, we have 5 P90s. That counts. But yes, like I say, I like the fact that she again sacrifices herself in essence, lets herself be killed, but gets beamed out. You get a rather nice Rathacon space shot. The deflector array has got some burning, which is quite fun. The captain's yacht is just the one from the Enterprise E, but within the cells close to the hull. It's not changed at all, which I'm fine with. I'm absolutely fine with that. And the mum, real happy. It's a very genuine. We saved you.
Yeah. And much to Mariner's surprise, she's like, what? She didn't expect it. But Mariner is very she wants to save Locarno. But apparently he reactivated the shields, so they can't get a lock now. So he took time out to put the shields up before he went to defuse the bomb.
Well, he had 5 minutes.
Yeah. So they order full impulse to get the hell out of there.
Everyone was full impulse on this show.
And he's like, next time, pick a shorter timer. To deactivate, please insert 2 bars of latinum. They put a paywall on a bomb? Stupid for it.
Just
epic.
I would say famous last words, but that's the kind of new last words. And he Don got blowed up. Real big. Real big. With a lovely shot of inside the captain's yacht to the outside. A lovely little shot.
Yeah, that's great.
God, the smoke in the bridge. No, it's great.
And this is the one addition to this I really liked, is sucking all the gas of the ion storm in before it explodes, using all that matter to create the thing. I mean, the same thing happens in Wrath of Khan, but literally the Reliant explodes and then the nebula just fades into like nothingness. So I like the addition of sucking it all in, sucking in all the nearby matter. I like that. But then it's the same with the shockwave, like the rings.
It's great.
It's really good.
It's a little bit of a long sequence because nothing really happens. But it's also a nice sequence. So, and yeah, Wrath of Khan, we have finished. Lovely shot of Cerritos. As you know, it's Freeman demoted, but damn, Orion's promoted. Okay, you're staying where you are. Because it's true. You know, the Orions do not want anything to do with us, and yet she threw Tendi. Like, she didn't do it, but that's okay. Yeah, things are afoot.
And they make a point of saying that all the crews are probably in hiding now, and Starfleet avoided repercussions because no shots were fired by Starfleet.
Although, you know how, oh god, in Insurrection, subspace weapons are banned by the Space Geneva Accords. Do you think Genesis devices are banned by the Space Geneva Conventions? Because
yes,
a little bit dangerous.
So I think Starfleet or somebody might be knocking on Ferenginar's door going, excuse me, was this like a scientist that was actually legitimately working on this, or was it just a rogue scientist?
You're not meant to have those guys. It is real explodey.
Now here we go. This is a good question. Zango 76. Was an impulse too slow to escape Genesis in Star Trek 2? Yes. But they were right beside the explosion, and also the Enterprise was severely damaged. I doubt it could get to full impulse. So they had to jump to warp. That was like their last ditch effort to get away. This one, she says full impulse, but then when you see it streaking away, it looks like it might be at warp 1 because it's got like behind it. But regardless, I just don't think the Enterprise had the power, the reserves to get up to full impulse in Wrath of Khan.
And if it did, it'd have to build up to that, potentially, and they had seconds.
Yeah. Whereas just jumping to warp, it's like, gotta get out of here.
Also, do you think a Connie from 80 years ago has a lower impulse maximum than a captain's yacht from 100 years in the future?
I don't think so. Impulse is impulse. I had a whole conversation with Rick Sternbach about this when I wrote the script for our Impulse episode, which we have never filmed.
Oh.
And yeah, impulse is pretty standard. It's just a certain percentage of the speed of light before you get there. So
okay,
there might be slight improvements a generation ahead, like a little bit faster, but
interesting.
It wouldn't be that much of a difference.
Okay, that's interesting.
Unless they went to a whole new impulse scale.
Impulse level 13. That third and cell really helps us get there. Yeah, I get you.
But we get a planet out of the deal, and
yes,
Freeman asks if it's stable, and they're like, "We think so. We're going to name it Locarno because his atoms were included in the transmogrification."
And the guy kind of says it like a dick. Like, well, his matter was part of the thing where he died and got... It's like, okay, Dr. Evil, jeez, okay. Don't sound so venomous about the guy.
So they plan to use it as a home for refugees at some point. So Locarno did a good thing. Yay. Anyway.
But I do like they, caveat, it's probably stable. This is quite a big deal. This is an invented planet, Hope we get to go back there and see what's going on.
General Grievous says, if impulse is impulse, the Titan having extra impulse engines makes no sense, doesn't it, Trekyards? True. I had this conversation with Doug Drexler when we were just there visiting him.
Oh, okay.
He said Terry Metalis wanted an explanation why the impulse engines were so much bigger on the Titan. Doug had to come up with something, so it became the whole. It's more nimble. It's more of an experimental, like faster impulse. But yeah, you're right. And Doug knew it too. So
because Rick's a bit more technical than Doug is on that stuff.
Yes.
He literally wrote the book.
Yes.
Twice.
So yeah, you're absolutely correct. I mean, I can see the Titan getting up to full impulse much quicker than a standard impulse engine. Sure. And I think that's part of the explanation that Doug gave as well. I don't remember the exact explanation, but
0 to 100 in 1 second versus 0 to 100 in 5 seconds.
Yeah. Simple as that.
Or, by having impulse engines in multiple parts of your mass, you're able to efficiently traverse impulse versus just one drive in your neck as an Enterprise D. It's such a tiny impulse drive, like that can't be as efficient as the Titans, right? If that's as efficient as that, then you don't need anything, right, to move the ship. So
And Anne asks, what's coming next, Discovery or Prodigy? Discovery Season 5 will be next.
Yes. Or at the same time, because they're not connected. Netflix chooses when to release it, not CBS or Paramount. They have no say in that. They can ask, but they have no... They've removed the right to decide when things are released.
And Merlos asks, are we talking the Enterprise G? No, we're talking the Titan A. But yes, technically the Enterprise.
Wait, do you mean... Wait, you're saying the Titan Dash A or the Titan A?
The Titan A? Canadian.
No, Dash A.
the Titan Dash A. Yeah, that's the one.
Thank you, Stu. But anyway, so everything is fine. And Mariner is getting hugged to death, so it's not perfect, obviously.
And she does apologize for being a dumbass the last couple months. Yes. And says, I'm much better now. I've dealt with things. It's like, okay, fine. Good. Thank you.
Have you, though? Maybe.
Yeah.
Not sure I quite believe her, but,
Well, she can't fall into it again. Come on. It was good and tiresome this time, so.
Yep. We'll see. Because that's, a huge defining part of her character, right? If she's actually a good officer and follows the rules, where do you go from there,
Up. In rank.
That's true. That's a fair point. But it's nice. And she does very quickly say, no, I'm still me. So we, very much back in the drunk thing,
Everybody shut up, including me. Let's go get drunk. And Rutherford's like, oh, thank God, there you are.
There you go. Exactly.
And then the Livick and Rutherford thing. I thought you guys liked each other now. Nah, only when we're twaining.
It's so ridiculous.
Yeah. And then
in a good way.
Boimler's happy about his captain-y voice and how well he did, and Ransom congratulated him, and T'Lyn ignores the call from Captain Sokol to rejoin the crew.
Do you believe that? Do you buy it? Does that feel too easy? What are your vibes there? Because that's the entire...
I totally believe her.
Okay.
But then she goes on to say, I'm going to focus on being your science bestie. And I'm thinking the whole time, yeah, but she's leaving. So I have a feeling when Tendi comes back, Rutherford and T'Lyn are going to be kind of close.
Ooh.
And Tendi might be a little bit upset about that. That's the feeling that I'm getting from that.
So create an unintentional love triangle.
Yeah. Or an engineer bestie triangle.
Okay.
Sciencey triangle.
A triangle.
Sure. Yeah. And then, of course, we get the animated series Orion, or a ship coming in.
Which is great. I'm mostly sure we've seen it before.
We have.
But this looks like maybe a nicer version, because it looks really nice.
Yeah. But Tendi's got to go back to Orion.
And Mum is not happy. Yeah, she's right there saying, sorry.
Yep.
Way it's got to be. Does feel like Tendi forgot, though, which it seems sort of unlike her a little bit, but that's okay.
Yeah, I thought everybody forgot, because they're doing this scene, and I'm like, what about the... okay.
But her sister is very prompt, so she's got to go.
We get a tearful goodbye.
Okie dokie. Okie dokie. That's sad. It's a good job. But that's the thing about these little shows. Is it really goodbye?
No.
It does kind of have a slight finality, because you would think she's in Starfleet. She has Starfleet obligations. She'll get in trouble if she does not do the Starfleet obligations. If she's officially left Starfleet, resigned her commission to be part of the Orion Society, can you just get recommissioned and go back where you were? Probably not. Like, that's why you leave. So she's now left Starfleet. She's no longer an officer. She's now... Because you can't be a Starfleet officer and work on Orion, because otherwise she'd be ordered to go places and she can't. So she's no longer Starfleet. Huh? I don't know. Will it be interesting? Maybe. Will it last the whole season? No! Every single storyline, Stuart, that we have said, wow! That's going to be so exciting to develop and go further. What happens?
Next episode, it's solved.
Yep! Like the Titan, give or take. The Packard plot, give or take. She'll be back on Cerritos by episode 2 at the very latest. The very latest.
Yeah.
So it has a lot less weight to it, because you know it's not going to stick. You know it's not going to really mean too much in the grand scheme.
Well, what does it mean though when she's like, I got this? She kind of goes in like all determined. Like, is she going to change the Orion culture? Is she going to take over from her sister?
Huh.
I don't know. It's just an odd way to end it. So, yeah, and that's the end of the episode.
I mean, my assumption is that she doesn't think she's ever going to go back. So she's like, right, I can't treat this like a punishment. I've got to treat this like an opportunity. She does love her family. Like, but she's always wanted to be Starfleet. So I get the sense of she's saying, I'm going to make the best of this. Going to kick butt. And in fairness, if she's just herself, she might annoy her sister so much that she fires her.
Yeah, exactly.
Just by being herself. Yeah. Truly herself. So that might be the fun play.
Well, she's going to want to take over again, because she gave it to her sister because she was in Starfleet. But now that she's not in Starfleet, she's going to go back and want to be in control, and the sister's not going to want that because she's got used to it. And Dave says, didn't Tuvok leave Starfleet for like decades? Yes, he did. You can take a leave of absence, but for decades, I think Tuvok had to start again at the beginning. If you take a short leave of absence, you can come back with your same rank. We've seen a few people do that.
Because we know he was a special case in multiple ways.
Yes.
But yeah, if you leave for 20 years, you're back to the academy, and then you ace the academy again, and then you... Right? Like...
Yeah.
Plus, let's be honest, a Vulcan might get some preferential treatment because they're Vulcans. So he might have said, I'd like to rejoin, and you know, the Vulcan ambassador calls the Federation ambassadors, hey bro, hey Don, You know that strip poker we played last week? My cousin Spock, my cousin Tuvok wants to be back in the academy, and he wants to skip all the years. He just wants to graduate, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Whereas Orions, they're more likely to be, and this is just passively, but less likely to be, like, yes, lenient. Plus, also, she's, low end ship, etc. Yes.
Ray Ricks, £5. I wonder
Ray!
if the Federation gave Tendi a mission with the Orion Syndicate. Possibly. Could involve Section 31 Boimler, maybe.
The problem with that's really interesting. Really, really interesting. The problem with that, though, is that... Well, no, okay, I'll finish the thing. The problem with that, though, is that that's a duplicitous reason to stay, and if she gets caught, she'll be in trouble. But, of course, the point of the Orion culture is to be a duplicity to get ahead. So they actually might respect a long-play duplicity in the grand scheme. So the reality there, that is possible.
Yeah.
Interesting. I mean, there's a plan. There is a plan. It's fine. It's going to be great. But it'll be one episode, maybe two at the absolute max, right?
Yeah. Gorgonzola says, my biggest question for this episode, would the math still work out for Mariner being a teenager on the 1701D when she was an academy freshman in the year of the Starburst? Yes. She was probably 18 or 19 when we saw her at the flashback in this one.
Some math.
She would have absolutely been a teenager. She would have been between 13 and like 17 or 18. 100%. It would have worked out perfectly. Yeah. Because joining the academy probably at 18, 19, maybe 20 at the latest. And what season of TNG was that? Like 5, 6?
5.
5. So, yeah.
So she was 13 in season 1. Yeah, she was 13 in season 1.
Yeah.
So presumably
she's already a teenager in season 1. There you go.
So she was probably taught by Keiko. That's cool. If she spends me on there, but also, I think Wesley because I think Wesley
Keiko taught on DS9, not.
Didn't she ever? I thought she had
no
one bit at the end of her run. She was a teacher in TNG.
Maybe, but maybe.
No. Because Wesley was the guy that won the academy position of that sector. I wonder if that means that they took Mariner to the place and she got the one out of the sector. Maybe she was the one academy graduate of that area for that year.
Maybe. And Classic for Real says they learn 3 or 4 years is enough to give the Colonel gray hair, but not Mariner. Harder life, and also gray hair can be a choice, man. You can like dye the sides of your hair gray to look more distinguished, and
yeah, well, I mean, in Star Trek, any hair is a choice. To have hair, to have no hair, to have eyebrows, have no eyebrows, have grey, have no grey. I mean, there's going to be permanent dyeing. You know, if you could make any character a Klingon for a day and grow new hair, that's real hair, and then go back to being bald or low hair, it's a choice. They all they've embraced their look and they've accepted it, right?
Maybe the Colonel kept being told he looked like Tom Paris, so wouldn't change his look.
Yeah, didn't shave and dyed his hair.
Yep,
yeah,
exactly.
And they are not the same person, so you can just have genetically greyer hair. Plus, I would assume that he had a really shitty 10 years at least, doing black market things, some dodgy
harder
things.
Life. Harder life, more stress, so it'll turn you grey faster.
Like I mean, Tom had a lot of stress. Delta Quadrant's a shitty place to be. And he had a lot of stress. Stress isn't the problem.
But same with Mariner, though it's mentioned earlier. He also has Starfleet Medical on his side to help him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Passive healthcare. Because in theory, Locano can get good healthcare. Doesn't mean he actually can. Nor does he have do you have a GP? I'm sure we always see every Starfleet officer. You go for physicals, right? You're dedicated physical. You go get tested. You go get things to help. Does Locano have a GP on Andoria that he goes to and gets checked out every 6 months? No. You know what I mean? Like, he might try to scan himself every few months, but not do it properly. So there's,
exactly.
He might eat worse. I'm sure there's a diet system on the Enterprise. They limit calorie control. He might not have that on a normal ship. You know, it's all the small things, right? He could be really healthy. He could look amazing. But he didn't, Well, that's okay.
Oliver Lavery Farag throws in £5.
Good
The tension of Tendi leaving the ship relies on the show getting cancelled. not co-produced for the next season. I'm really hoping for season 5. They're already working on season 5. They're already been greenlit for season 5. They knew that. Anyway, Megan Bruns, member for 17 months at the Rank of Ensign.
Thank
It was a great
you.
episode. I really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go.
Yeah, Date has grey hair now. Yeah. Yeah, Date dyed his hair in the alternate timeline. Yes, he did.
All right. So this is the part of the show where you hit like if you haven't already.
Well, remember, guys, vote in the poll as well. Last bits of votes, guys. Come on, last bits of votes.
You also have to super chat in with your scores out of 10. I will read those after we give our final thoughts and closeouts and scores. And if you put it in the regular chat, Sam will read those ones.
Mm-hmm.
So
everyone do it.
Super chat
either
in.
way.
Yeah, if you can super chat in, we'd really appreciate it. So it really help us out and give us a good boost to the end of this live, which would be awesome. So
this season,
if you can super chat even $2 and give us a score, we'd appreciate it.
Yeah, as you guys know, we rely on this. So if you can, please help.
Yeah.
So Stuart,
right.
What do you think?
Yes.
And importantly, has your opinion changed even one iota through our long discussion, almost 2 hours, about this one 30 minutes? That's what we do.
I don't know how many iotas were changed. I think I feel the same about it. I've seen this 3 times now. I enjoyed it each time, probably in a little bit of a different way. Looking forward to watching it again, actually. And I really enjoyed it. It was a fantastic finale, a fantastic episode of Star Trek. Toned down the comedic aspect. It was quite serious. It could have been a live action, no problem, which I love. That's sometimes the best Lower Decks, is when they don't go too funny. And I think they had a really good balance in this one. Everybody, like Mariners, seems to be back on track. Locarno is taken care of.
Dead.
You know what happened there? Yeah. And there was some fantastic, like the Saber Runner, like changing the Steam Runner class into a smaller ship and calling it the Saber Runner. I love that. Small little things that, I really appreciate. And Tendi, I'm not worried about her. She'll be back. That's not an issue, in my opinion. But yeah, the Locarno twist was, I think, ended well. Not for him necessarily, but it was a good story element. And you can take all of the, he looks like Tom Paris off the table now because he can't come back and replace Tom Paris. He's already dead and gone. It's fine now. But I loved Rutherford and Boimler's back and forth with that. He looks exactly like him. Let's see. Freeman, I think, did a very good job this week with her captaining, and some very awesome music, great cinematic vibe to some of the elements of this episode, which I really appreciated it also. And yeah, the Trinar force field. I mean, hey, we got a new technology. It's fine. I really enjoyed it. I don't know if my opinion's changed at all. I think it's probably the best of the season. Just because the rewatchability factor of it is really good. It's fun. So score wise, we come to scoring. All right. Shit, what did I give episode 1? Best of the season. I'm gonna give this one I'll give it a 9.3. There's very little wrong. For all of Lower Decks, it's definitely up there as well. This is where the scores might get a little skewed because I do not remember what I gave other stuff, other seasons. I want to say a 9 or a 9.1. I'll give it a 9.1 for all of Lower Decks.
So would you say it's top 10, given there are only 40?
Yes.
Would you say it's top 5?
Maybe. I think there might be other episodes of Lower Decks I enjoyed more than this for different reasons. So, yeah. Top 10, probably. Top 5, not likely.
Very fair. Any super chats to jump in on? People's thoughts, comments, questions?
Well, I got some scores. If you want me to do scores now before yours.
Now we can. Yeah, yes. Let's see what the people say. Then super chat as
All
well.
right.
More scores hopefully.
Classic for real throws in $2. Tendy's super hot sister out of 10. I guess if you rank her a 10 out of 10, then that's a 10 out of 10. Ray Ricks, £5, 9.5 out of 10. Overall best finale. Also now very broke after convention pass and flights for Star Trek Las Vegas. So looking forward to that. Well, we're looking forward to seeing you at that, Ray Ricks, because we already have that all planned out. And we will be there. So good. Hopefully if you see us, say hi. And Aeon throws in $7 Canadian.
Thank you.
And gives it an 8 out of 10.
Ooh.
So now it's your turn on the podium.
I'm a few dollars away from a lovely milestone. That'll be very nice, guys. Very nice. I'll keep putting in the scores. There we go.
Yeah, $6 would be a good one.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you.
Okay.
Has us talking about it changed your opinion of it at all? Or your enjoyment factor of it? 'Cause I know you like it.
Yes, kind of. Because when you stretch out this discussion to 2 hours, scenes that are 10 seconds take 10 minutes to do.
Sometimes.
So, the fact that we just skipped through the Orion thing even quicker, we tried to just burn through that bit, showed how poor it was. That if you watch it as the show, you're enjoying it. But there was so little to commentate on in a quality way that thing isn't good. Those scenes they're not bad, but they're not good, right? But then you have other scenes that we just keep talking, the kind of plan. Like that stuff is interesting, where the episode does not want you to think. Not in a cynical way, not like Into Darkness or 09. It's just all crammed into one. That's his biggest flaw, for sure. For sure. The lack of setup, the lack of payoff in the grander scheme is its biggest problem. But it's not. It didn't try and do a season arc, really. It tried to do a hint. It tried to do bits and then a final. So it really is just a one-off. Really, really is. And that's how you kind of got to review it, because it is a epic story. And I would kind of argue with you a little bit. You said it's like the movie episodes of this season. I think this is far more meaningful because it actually really happened. Movies are fun for spectacle, but they don't leave a lasting...
I just meant some of the animation of the Nebula stuff and the music.
But I mean, this has a weight those just don't have. It's real, and that's why it elevates beyond all those. I love the use of the cannon, obviously, but how I would do it, the bridge, as you can see in the thumbnail, the steam runner and Fabio, that's very, very, very nice. The build-up of the alien fleet throughout the season, allowing for this big epic battle at the end. All the side characters were fun. The lower decks characters. Locarno was... It's funny, it's a good performance, and it doesn't feel like Tom Paris, but most of his scenes are reactionary, and what I mean by that is characters are either defined by themselves or by who they're with. If you being with someone means you react to them, then all dialogue is about them, really. The fact that Locarno's always reacting to Mariner means, or Freeman or whatever, you don't know much about him, how he feels, or his plan. You get the vibe of how that is, but there's very little about him personally to bolster the story, because there's so much happening, they can't linger on who he is. It's just how he's reacting. It's not a problem, but that's why 2 parts have been better to embrace that a bit more. Because in second watch, he feels lighter as a character than he did first time, because you're enjoying it first time, but he's not really a big character in the grand scheme. I mean, he's just some guy, right? But he could have been a bit more, I think, which is fine. Mariner has a great shout this week. Her restraint is really fun to see. Boimler, despite not making sense to be in command, did a really great job. The Genesis device is fun. I didn't necessarily think they're going to blow it up. It was a Pavlov's dog, but then they actually did it. Not Pavlov's dog. No, it's the
Schrodinger's cat.
Thank you. It was Schrodinger's cat, and it actually was. It was alive or dead. That was kind of whatever. And I didn't find the Wrath of Khan stuff obnoxious. A, because it's fun, but also it was maneuvered carefully into this position. Then just jumped to it, right? She did several things to try and plan. This was another thing of the plan, right? And they forced her in there, and it was well, we could do this. Oh, let's do it. Unsatisfying end. But then we've also had 3 seasons of epic endings, which lead to the Theory of More. Season 1, we're getting a Titan co-team for Season 2. Nope. Season 2, Freeman's going to be in jail for a few episodes. And be nope. Season 3, Boimler's clone, Section 31. Nope. So none of their seasons have been satisfying payoffs. All incredible setups, all piss-poor payoffs, really. At least in terms of what they potentially promised. This has no setup. So we'll gently reset to next season and no worry, right? And that's okay. Which possibly is a better way of doing it, because this has a finality to it that the other seasons don't. Epicness, I mean, Riker being in with Titan is much better than this episode, as its simpleness and power and death factor and that's an experience. It was like seeing Luke Skywalker, seeing the Titan finally canonize with Riker, with Troy. That was epic. This is a Lower Deck style epic, right? This is standalone to its own thing with a little bit of TNG as well. They're very different, but that is a moment that people hopefully appreciate for years to come. Score-wise, I mean, this season has not been the best in my opinion. We've got a lot of above average, but not great scores for Lower Decks. This is much better than most of them because it does so much. And it uses the canon super, super well. Is it a best of Lower Decks? It is a best of Lower Decks because we've gone past the afraid to use canon. If you had pitched in season 1 you told the audience, so in this show we're going to have villains from TNG return. And by villains I mean that guy. They're going to fight in ships in canon against other ships in canon in a device, like, it would sound silly, but they've earned the ability to do silly in canon. So therefore, other episodes that ignore it to do their own fun stories are great, but this is so universally, like you've said many a time, there can be better episodes written, directed, acted, there could be in any franchise. This is only doable in Star Trek. It's so wrapped around the logic of that, right? You can't do these scenes, so it's super Star Trek. Score-wise, God. But I'm also looking at the season, so easier for me. I'm going to give it a 9 for the season.
Okay.
It would be irresponsible to give it lower than a 9. But because it's not a satisfying payoff to the season, it's not going higher. I don't feel that passionate about it. It's really enjoyable. But
would you say it's the best of the season?
I would, still, yes.
Okay.
And my score does reflect that. I was going to say 9 anyway, and I am... fine, 9.1. Damn it, I saw the score. Fine. 9.1! Thanks, Stuart, maybe double check. No, it is the best of the season, I think it is. I don't know what I don't do the titles. I don't know what I said was the best. I know which episode, but I don't know what it says. We'll find out. All of Lower Decks, it's top 10. Because there are 40, it's in top 10. It's not top 5. Probably 7, if I'm going to throw out a guess. But the top 5 are really, really special in Lower Decks. This is not really, really special, but it's top tier. I just wish it had a better payoff to the season. I guess I'll give it a 9 for all of Lower Decks, because I think it's a fair top tier, but not quite hitting those special scores. And that's just literally because they didn't set up properly in the last episode. If they'd split up into 2, have better pacing as a duo, and be able to explore more of Lacana's plan, just time it better. That's it. It's just it was rushed and a bit unexplored in some things. And it didn't really have for you, did it have one moment like the Titan arrival in Riker? Did it have one of those moments?
No.
Exactly.
The closest would be the Wrath of Khan stuff, but that was not...
Yes.
Yeah, no.
Versus, like Kobayashi, with the music and he fights with Spock, and like that's so many moments of just, wow, I'm getting this, right? And the TOS bridge in Aaron's second episode, that hit so hard, emotionally, musically, that is like super, super top tier. None of the moments were in this. Lots of great stuff, but nothing that hit like that. Like seeing last season, the naked ship. Great concept, right? Those really, like, just they hit in a way, you know? And it's sad that I feel like I'm being negative at a 9 out of 10, right? That's silly. but I'm justifying why not. Because I the point 1, 2, 3, that's for really special content. But 9, I mean, how many 9s are we giving Discovery? I mean, I'm sure somewhere there must have been, right? Well, let me see how harsh enough to give a 9.
For Discovery scale, maybe, but
yeah, well,
that is a Star Trek scale.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, there you go. So 9 and 9, 9.1 and 9. Yeah.
Good answer.
Thank you.
We haven't got any more super chats. We would like another $10.
So
if possible.
close.
But let's end the poll. We got 73 votes. In episode 10, the best episode of is episode 10 the best episode of the season? Yes. Wins with 64%.
Well, there you go. That's a pretty decisive win.
36% of people think there's a better episode. So.
All right, what are the non-super chat scores? Let's see. I'm really interested to see what you guys think. Throw them in, guys. 54 of you, throw them in. So we have got the Stanleys 8.5, Chris 9.6, Merlot 8.7, Nick T 9.8, Aussie 9.8. Hope Aussie's mum pops in as well. I know. And Aussie, they say okie dokie twice. You must have been happy. I did think of you in that moment. So I
did too.
You've got me in your brain there, Aussie. Trilobite 9. Joseph 9.6. Mum's at 9.9. Wow, almost perfect. Cool. Donnie, of course, 10 out of 10. Most of Trek gets 10 out of 10 for you. You have no standards.
Don. He's really nice, I promise.
Sergeant Montgomery 8.5, John Grease 8.5. Okay, a bit lower. Eric only 8 out of 10, right? Only. Yeah. Okay. So actually we gave sort of on the higher line.
First Contact. Many episodes of Discovery rate at 9 out of 10. Whoa. Harsh.
Because he lives in Germany, in theory.
Yes, he does.
Goodness.
Scottish Nightmare says I'll give it a B.
B+.
Yeah,
definitely.
Be a B+.
I mean, it's an A- probably, because if you can go to A+, probably an A-. But like we've said so many times, they raise the bar so damn high that a 9 feels slightly underwhelming. That's weird. You know what I mean? That's.
Mm-hmm. It's a unique show for that. For sure.
Because like I said, Wage Douche is effing phenomenal. Just insanely
probably
good.
The best episode of Lower Decks.
Yep.
Number 1.
Yep. Yeah. And then Titan, extremely good, right? And actually this season, obviously the end villain, very light on Legacy's back. The lightest, I would say, season 1. But, sort of light. Hopefully next year we've got a few more. Hopefully. Especially if it might be the last one, bucket list of what you want to do. We always hope for more seasons. I mean, you should at least get 7, right? You should at least get 7.
Mm-hmm.
Or 8. Yeah. Just say.
Or 10.
12?
We got a lot less episodes per season than the other shows, so gotta go more than 7 years.
That is true. Well, it's like Discovery. They just said it's the 8th anniversary since the first episode. Only 4 seasons that come out.
Yeah.
And only 56 episodes, even though TNG in 8 years did 300, whatever. It's like, you can't compare it, right? We're made to 5 seasons. Yeah, you did 1.5 seasons, guys. You did 1.5 seasons.
Yeah. Ozzy asked when the Trekyards is again for this one. I don't know. Maybe next weekend or the weekend after, but it will be soon.
Yes, indeed.
We will be doing a retrospective for this one because we love talking about Lower Decks. So
yes, and that'll be fun. So when we get back here, we'll be drunk. That'll be a fun rediscussion. But I'm finally seeing Book of Mormon on the 17th. That's
great. Me and Sylvia saw that in London a little while ago.
It was my birthday present. It took us this long to book it finally. Marie said, "Book it."
Enjoy it. It's good.
I've wanted it for years and years and years. So I'm very excited.
Yeah.
I love the South Park writers. I think they're very, very clever. I mean, clearly they are. You don't get like 27 seasons of a show and 3 movies and 3 games and a stage musical that lasts for 12 years, unless you're pretty geniusy, because they are.
Exactly.
Sorry if you don't like them. They really are.
They are.
I did get their newest special. I haven't watched it yet because you got to sit down and watch those things because they can be somewhat kind of dense. Although I assume you watched the one where they go forward in time and you see old version of everyone.
I haven't seen that. No.
It's really good. It's a COVID story where it's post-COVID, actually post-COVID by like 25 years, and you learn what COVID really is in their universe and what the cure was, and like they go to one of the hotels and the hotel is like, give me a hotel brand that you know.
Hilton.
It's Hilton Max Plus Extra. Because of course you have HBO Max and Disney Plus, and it's the logic. Yeah. Everything became hyper clever, and they've got everyone. Well, if you're part of the Amazon ecosystem, and you have an Alexa, it's a hologram that walks around with you called Alexa, who talks to you as like a girlfriend, and then every few minutes tries to sell you something.
That's great.
It's really good, and everyone's like old and really, really intelligent. It was really shockingly like intense actually, because it's like, wow, okay, really worth a watch.
And on that note,
yeah,
I think we'll call it quits there,
$6 though, man, right there.
Yeah.
That's okay though.
I know a while ago and nobody's done anything, so it's fine.
Indeed.
Yeah, thank you for joining us for all these reviews. Hopefully you have watched them all. A lot of the regulars have. If you haven't, if you're just watching this one for the first time for some reason,
welcome.
Check out our other Lower Decks content. We've covered all of it. So
yes, and we have a lot of videos for this episode, as of course you worked out. There's ships, there's tech, there's bridges, a lot of fun stuff. I had fun with you recording this morning, this afternoon, after I got rained on again. And yeah, guys, also stay tuned for hopefully a Doctor Who fan film Indiegogo soonish. I'm basically going to make it this weekend because I haven't got much time left in my weekday year, etc. But I've been doing some, in the evening I spend like 2 hours doing the previs and then go to bed. If you like Doctor Who, it's turned out better than I thought it was going to turn out, I'll be honest. Because you don't know until you put things in motion. So if you're a fan of Doctor Who and of the old show especially, you'll get a kick out of this. And one of my modelling friends sort of said, I don't want to build this for you. Okay. It'll take too long. I want to do some fun small stuff. Okay. So I gave him a whole lot of small stuff and 2 of the Doctor Who thing. I thought, well, if you want to do small stuff only, do this and this. So there's some fun bonus stuff in this one that is kind of surprising. And all the Doctor Who content, go watch Tales from the TARDIS. Those are really fun. I'm excited. Guys, get some posters, have some fun with it. I'll obviously be showing Stuart before I put it live, see what he thinks.
Okay.
Yeah.
You say that all the time, and you rarely ever do. So it's
half the time I do.
That's rarely.
Half the time I do.
Anyway. We will catch you guys later.
Yes.
I gotta go get some food.
Okay.
And we will see you soon.
Until then.
We got a lot of content this weekend, so.
Until then,
he is Commander Cox.
He's got a phone. And that was Low Deck Season 4.